On demand.
Well, James Cummings and Godolphin having quite the day out here on Penfold's Victoria Derby Day at Flemington. 3 winners for the stable here. And no surprise to see Damien Oliver riding Group 1 winners for fun. He has won the Derby 6 times and now the Empire Rose Stakes a 4th time, with Colette taking out the first of our Group 1 features. Michelle Payne is with us. Michelle, as Ollie said post-race, she's only little but gutsy as they come.
She is, and she's just such an athlete. When I saw her in the mounting yard before the race, you can just see the strength she has behind her, even though she is small, and she's just got that will to win, which is what you obviously need in any competitor in a racehorse. So she was just too good here today.
All right, well, let's jump on board now with Declan Bates and Pride of Jenny and take a look at the jockey cams.
Yes, we can see here he was up in front. He set a really solid tempo for the race, and she led them really well into the straight, but just couldn't quite maintain that speed to the line. It's a great view of the Flemington Straight here. As you can see, it's such a long run in, so you don't want to hit the front too soon. We've got the horses now coming to the outside of her, challenging her, and you'll see, we can't see the winner yet. There she is, Colette just bursting through. She got a really nice opening just in the final stages of the race, and she was just so strong and solid to the line and really determined to get that race.
Great insight there. Thanks, Michelle. Well, that is the first of our Group 1 features for the day. The Empire Rose Stakes, Godolphin and Damien Oliver taking that one out. Up next is the Victoria Derby. So let's head to Michael Felgate in Racing Central for a deep dive into the form.
Thanks very much, Katie. Yep, I've got the form guru, Dave Gately, here. And the analyzer worked to our advantage in the tab Empire Rose because we had a good look at Colette. We're going to try and do the same here in the Penfolds Victoria Derby. And Gate, the 2 horses that we are going to have a look at are horses that have very similar colours, and it could be a big day for the team at the Adelphi Hotel where we'll cross to as well. Where do we start?
Well, we start with this race being the fastest Caulfield Guineas in history. The horse in the blue colours there is Anima, who wins the race. He goes on and beaten an inch in a Cox Blade. Hitotsu was under pressure a fair way from home. He responded well. Forgot You, race fastest last 200, equal with Artorias, and they virtually crossed the line together. Forgot You, of course, emerged from this to win at Moonee Valley last week. He's had a couple of hard runs in a row, perhaps a little query, so I lent to Hitotsu. But look, they're both live chances in the Derby this year, I think.
He hits a flat spot in his races, Forgot You. So if you backed him at home and he starts to be hard-ridden, don't panic just yet, because he does find the line. He looks like a horse that's looking for 2,500, and they still want to run in a Melbourne Cup if he can win over 3,200 metres on Tuesday. But Totsu's a different story. From the mile into the Derby, it hasn't been done to the mid-50s. How much of a worry is that?
Oh, look, history's there for a reason. So it hasn't been repeated too often. But there's not too many that have tried it, perhaps with his SP profile. But that, I mean, his price, his expectation of running well. He's an incredible talent, I think, on the rise. I think win, lose or draw today, he might end up the best horse out of the race.
Yeah, and there is Hitotsu in the stalls. They're about to get saddled up. He looks great. What they're wearing there are earmuffs. So it's basically just to keep the horse calm in between races. And this is Gunstock, the favourite. He's an imposing horse. So that one there, is it Allegron or Gunstock? Well, he is an imposing horse. It is Gunstock. He'll have blinkers on in the race. So he is the one that is the favourite, and probably the one for Forgot You and Hitotsu to beat.
Yeah, look, he's certainly on the upward trajectory. He was a much better horse with the blinkers on, as we expected. Yep. He looked a blinker candidate at the start before, but I like little Michael Jordan thing he was doing here. That's a nice touch.
Another person who likes Michael Jordan, and it's so good to have as part of our team, as always, is Britt Taylor. Unfortunately, couldn't get over here from WA, but we are going to Britt over there because we want to get your thoughts in the Penfolds Victoria Derby. Britt, how are you?
I'm well. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't be there, team, but hey, I'll take this as the second best option here at Ascot on an 11-race program on Derby Day.
Hey, speaking of WA racing, on Channel 10, we are going to be covering the feature races of the Summer Carnival, which you will be headlining. It'll be so good to have that on the network as well.
Yeah, it's so good to have the coverage here in WA. Railway Stakes Day, Winterbottom and Kingston Town. So really looking forward to bringing you the local stories from here because there's some really good stories to tell.
Now, Britt, one of the disappointments of you not being here in person is that I love how you and Gator can have disagreements and you can have a little bit of argy-bargy. I believe you're disagreeing with him in the Derby, is that right?
I am. He's sided with Hitotsu. My knock on Hitotsu is the 1600 straight to 2500. I know if there's ever trainers to do it, it's the Mar Eustace team, but I just have that knock there on Hitotsu. Therefore, I'm in the camp of Forgot You. I like that he's had that extra run. I know it was a hard run last week in the Vars, but I just love the fact that he's had that extra conditioning run. Flemington's going to suit, and we've seen consistently, just fastest late splits consistently throughout his preparation.
If Forgot You can win the Derby, Britt, would you back up and run in the Cup on Tuesday? We haven't seen a 3-year-old do it since Arena in the late 90s.
No, we haven't. It's a big, big ask, isn't it, to be able to back up from a Derby into a Melbourne Cup. But hey, if you've got the horse to do it, you're going to have a shot, aren't you?
Britt, enjoy that sunshine over in the west. We'll look forward to catching up with you a little later.
I will. It's beautiful here.
Well, we could do with a bit of that warmth here at Caulfield. I'll tell you who is hot, though, and that is Mick Price. He's already won a Derby with Tarzino, and he's looking for his second today. He's down in the horse stalls with Georgie Tunney.
He certainly is, and I tell you what, the sun came out for a second, so that could be a really good omen for us. Mick Price, you've got the favourite with Gunstock for the Derby. How's he looking?
He's looking good. He's a relaxed colt, albeit that he's a colt. You know, we've had colts here some days and they get a bit excited, but he's a pretty cool customer. He looks superb, so he should get the mounting yard prize. The other poor old bugger, he's only a gelding, but no, they're both well.
And so your other ride is Jungle Magnate, of course. Yep. How are they shaping up for this one?
Jungle Magnate's good. He will get the distance, which is so important. And also he's drawn a gate to give him a good advantage in the race, whereas Gunstock is going to have to get back.
Yes.
So Gunstock's going to have to be a late closer, which is like a little bit of a Hail Mary on that one. And Jungle Magnate should have a nice run of the race.
Well, Gunstock's also got Jai McNeil atop him. He's already had a win today as well. Heading towards, you've also got the favourite, of course, in the Coolmore Stud Stakes too, an Extreme Warrior. How are your nerves? Two favourites, two huge races.
Oh, yeah, you know what? We just train horses. We're switched on, you know. The staff's good, the horses are good. I only really get told if something goes wrong, you know, but the horses are in good order, and young Trent is doing a good job with Extreme Warrior, because I think he's done about 48 kilometres so far today. Wow. Well, he's quite a robust, energetic colt, Extreme Warrior, and he needs a bit of attention, so young Trent, he'll sleep well tonight.
We love the personalities of all of the horses. Mick, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
We look forward to what Gunstock might be able to do in the Derby, Michael.
Oh, we certainly do, Georgie. Geez, he's as almost relaxed as you are, Gator. Any more laid back, he'd fall over, Mick Price.
I think he's going to fall asleep then. Power nap, old Mick. But he sums it up well, doesn't he? I mean, once the job's done, the ball's out of it's out of your control, and let the athletes do the job.
It's up to John McNeil now to overcome that barrier, and I give the stable, mate, Jungle Magnate, a good chance as well. Let's head down to Fashion Central now. Millsy and Kate, we're getting ready for the Penfolds Victoria Derby. Millsy, you're hard at work. Give us...
Sorry, mate. So I know we're meant to be talking fashion, all things fashion, Felgate, but Kate's tipped 2 winners and a second. I've got a couple of seconds today. She is an incredible tipper. I want to know who you're going in the Derby.
Forgot You.
Forgot You. I'm also going Forgot You.
There you go.
Do you know why? Forgot you and forgot her too. So everyone has methods. Everyone has methods on how they choose their horses. Mine is his songs. Tim Kano joins us, VRC ambassador. Mate, how do you do your tipping? Is it colours, or you follow the form?
No, the name. I just always about the name.
Same.
I find the crazier the name, the best wild card.
Mate, it's great to have you here. Yeah. Now, I heard this story, like you can always leave Ramsay Street, but you can never truly, you can leave Neighbours, but you can never truly leave Ramsay Street. So you're still there.
This is true.
You've gone back to Neighbours.
Made another return.
Yep. How's it going?
Oh, it's so nice. It's always good to be back there.
Do we have some footage of you doing a bit of, here we go. I want to see you doing some of the blue steel work that you do best. Oh, there he is.
No, please.
Some dramatic acting, Tim.
I have just discovered a newborn baby that I didn't know I had, so that was a tough moment.
You've got a newborn baby?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you. So, a father on the show now. So.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you are VRC ambassador this year for Fashions on Your Front Lawn?
Fashions on Your Front Lawn.
Fashions on Your Front Lawn.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's involved there? Do you have to be here at Flemington, or can you enter from home?
Well, the best thing about about this year is the Fashions on Your Front Lawn, you can actually enter from home in your Just for Fun category. So all you have to do is take a pic on your phone, dress up however fun you like, load it up to Instagram, use one of the category hashtags on fashionsonyourfrontlawn.com.au, and you're in the chance to win.
Mate, I know this because I did this last year. I entered, but didn't win. I didn't win.
win?
I don't know why. Like,
You are robbed.
yeah, I think I was robbed.
I mean, I think that's too much for TV. Let's remove that quickly. Get it off.
Some say a little too raunchy. Now, Tim, before you go, speaking of raunchy, you're in a brand new show. It's on Paramount Plus called Spreadsheet.
Correct.
And they're calling it Sex in the Suburbs.
This is correct.
Which appeals to me. I love Sex in the City.
Oh yeah, it's Australia's version of Sex in the City for sure. It's a hilarious show and definitely worth checking out.
Can't wait to watch. Mate, congratulations. Can't wait to see you. And thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. Look forward to seeing the fashion looks.
Well, this week we are featuring all of the finalists in Maya Fashions on Your Front Lawn. So let's go to Tasmania.
Miles and I actually met in 2019 when I was competing as a Tasmanian state finalist. It brought us together and we were so excited when we both found out that we were going to be representing Tasmania.
Day to day, I'm in a high vis and a hard hat. So when I put a suit on or get dressed up, I like to feel good and tailored.
Miles actually put together his outfit on the day of the competition, which I would probably be impressed by if I wasn't so jealous. Looking back at the 1960s, I did find this image of Twiggy, which really inspired me. I've always been drawn to that ultra feminine style, and I think the races really give you a chance to express that.
I love bold, basic colours. The flanny, obviously massive in the trades, and I don't think that will ever go out of fashion. Once you pull the jacket on, you feel very formal and feel like you can take on the world. Gives you a whole lot of confidence, which I think is important.
The bag that I have is a 1950s clutch, which I sourced from the States. Texture was a really big part of the outfit when I was putting it together and being inspired by the vintage elements. It's lovely to be able to get dressed up, and I'm really excited that he decided to have a go with me as well.
It is an opportunity that I've grabbed hold of. Even coming this far, I've surprised myself. I would 100% do it again.
One tiny
Just been confirmed that Very Elegant will compete in this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup. The reigning Horse of the Year, 9-time Group 1 winner who ran so gallantly in last year's Cup, and she'll be ridden by the man of the moment, James McDonald. So Chris Waller still searching for his very first Melbourne Cup win. It's been an up and down couple of weeks for James McDonald. Lost the ride on Zaki when it was scratch race morning in the Cox Plate. Lost his original Melbourne Cup ride. He's got a good one now. Very Elegant will run on Tuesday. Not too far away now from the feature, which is the Penfolds Victoria Derby. They are the silks, if you're having a bet that you will want to follow. They look magnificent, those virtual silks, and it is a full field for this year's Penfolds Victoria Derby. $2 million in prize money, 16 horses hoping to etch their name into the record books. This race is older than the Melbourne Cup. It is the 168th running of the Victoria Derby. And we start with one of the favourites. Number 1, Forgot You. A big moment for jockey Daniel Moore, trained by Trent Busselton and Natalie Young. Was a brilliant winner last week in the Vars. Michelle Payne, how does he look like he's come through that run?
He looks fantastic, Michael. I was interested to see how he looked because he's had quite a bit of racing this time in, but he's only a small horse, but he's handling it really well. He's really healthy in his coat. He's holding his condition well, and there's absolutely no reason to fold him. He's bred to run this distance really strongly, and I think he looks outstanding.
Well, he's looked to stay out pretty much from the first time we laid eyes on him. He's the quickest home in his races every time he runs in them. He takes some winding up, sure, but he's going to be very hard to beat.
Number 2 is Tutakaka, and it's the Kiwi connection here. Tony Pike and James McDonald, they are teaming up. This horse was so strong coming through the Geelong Classic. Traditionally graded not a great guide to the Derby, but he was so strong it may be a different case.
I agree. I think he does look like a genuine stayer. So I think getting to the 2500 is a big plus here. It was a strongly run race, which brings out the the endurance athlete, and that's him. I've got him in the mix somewhere in that second line of chances.
The last winner of the Geelong Classic was 1974, who went on to win the Derby Haymaker. Number 4 is the next horse we're looking at, and this is the favourite, Gunstock. How does he look, Michelle?
He looks fantastic, Michael. He's my pick. I think he's holding his condition really well. He's quite a narrow sort of a horse, which suits the staying distance of the Derby, I think. He's really healthy in his coat. He's just a quality horse, and he looks fantastic.
Just start number 5 here. He's certainly on the steep upward curve, isn't he? Blinkers on last time, which he needed. He ran gun barrel straight. He was strong to the line at 2,000 metres. He'll eat the trip. Draw's not ideal, but he can win.
Let's go back to number 3 now and have a look at Allegron, because James Cummings looking for another winner in the Victoria Derby. He mentioned the side, Teofilo. He's side 2 of the last 3 Melbourne Cup winners, so you'd think stamina shouldn't be an issue.
That's right. He chased a potential star last time in Profondo, and he was wide prior to that. He's likely suited to the trip, as you've touched on there. Chance.
Number 5 is Akihiro, and what a big moment it is for Rachel King, who takes the ride for Gary Portelli. Of course, Claire Lindop won this race, becoming the first female to win the Group 1 in 2008. Rachel King looking to follow in the footsteps.
It was an honest effort last week in the Vars. He got a bit of a head start on Forgot You. He quickened better than that horse, but Forgot You ran past him. I think at 2500 it's advantage the other horse again, though.
Number 6 is Character. This is the second of the Godolphin runners. Great moment for Fred Kersley, looking for a Group 1 win here. Ran second in the Geelong Classic.
Yeah, so if Tatunga has a case, this horse must as well. I mean, it's a massive price differential between the two of them. Prior to that, he was an honest effort, wasn't he, behind El Patronus, who did fail earlier today.
Jungle Magnate, number 7, is the second of the Price Kent Junior runners. He's by Tarzino, trained by Mick Price to win the Victoria Derby. Gee, he ran on well in the Vars last week.
He did. He came wide with no real trail into the race. He had to do it all on his own, and he steamed to the line. Prior to that, beaten by Cerberus, a key rival here. He was only second up that day.
Number 8 is Commander Harry, another of the Trent Bussett and Natalie Young team, who almost upset the favourite runner Forget You last week, and to be ridden by Linda Meach, who is aiming to become the first female to win a Group 1 after becoming a mum.
Had to take that run at face value. I know he's 100 to 1, but he took off a long way from home in a solidly run race, and he was beaten narrowly by the long-time Derby favourite. Go back a couple of runs, and he's second to Hitotsu, so his form's there.
And Hitotsu is the next horse we're going to have a look at. Michelle, you're looking at him. 1956, the last time a horse came through the 1600 metres of the Caulfield Guineas to win the Derby Monte Carlo. How does he look?
He looks well. It's a big step from 1,600 metres to the 2,500 metres, so I think that's why it's probably been however many years, 50 odd years to be have that double. He's a bit of a horse that's a little bit tucked up, and I think that's probably why they haven't run him in between. He certainly looks like he's done the work to run the 2,500, but it is an ask for him, but he certainly has the class to win it.
Yeah, he was so strong through the line in that Guineas. That's what I loved. He was under pressure a fair way from home. He responded to that, but on and through the line he was powering. I think he'll run the trip. Top pick.
Number 10 is Cerberus. Team Freedman, Anthony and Sam. Anthony won it 2 years ago with Warning. Really strong win in the Hillsmith Stakes. It's just a terrible barrier.
Yeah, it's not an ideal draw, is it? But he did beat home Jungle Magnate at start number 3 last time. That was the horse who then rushed home behind, Forgot You. Best roughie, though, for mine.
Number 11 is Gun Decked. Craig Williams rides. He's won a Derby before. Big moment for Simon Wild. He'll have Charlie Rose in the Cup on Tuesday. He's got a Group 1 contender in the Derby.
Sat on a soft speed to win here 2 runs ago. Went to Corf. It was an even effort. He didn't quicken there. It looks like he'll stay at least.
Number 12 is Clyde, a second Derby runner for Gary Portelli. Dean Yendall rides. Coming off a benchmark win at Scone. Can you see Clyde making enough improvement?
Look, it's a bridge probably too far, but look, on his run 2 runs ago, he wasn't disgraceful behind Profondo. I think he'd be short price favourite here.
Number 13 is El Rocco, trained by John McCardle. Jamie Mott rides. He's a maiden. We've seen maidens win the Derby before. Can El Rocco do it?
Look, he was okay last time in the Vars. It was a solid effort back to the inside, arguably not the best part of the track. So He's probably better than 125 to 1 chance.
Number 14 is Raging Bull. David Payne trains at Rose Hill, comes through the Spring Champion Group 1 race in Sydney. Profondo looks like a star. Do you think that form line will level up?
I think the winner would. The others probably have work to do. He followed Allegron. Allegron beat him. I've got him behind that horse.
Number 15 is Cheerful Moment, part owned by RSN Radio, Racing and Sport, who we both work for. Yep. Dean Lester, also Jerry Ryan, Peter Blunden from the Herald Sun, and trained by Lindsay Smith, who has won the Derby in 2004 with Plastered. What did you make of his last run?
I'm just not sure he got around the Mini Valley track. It was semi-forgivable. His run prior to that at Caulfield was good. Not sure of that form either. A trifecta hope, perhaps.
T. Waters, I thought this horse ran really well last start. Archie Alexander searching for his first Group 1 win as a trainer. He was running on in the Norman Robinson.
He was good, wasn't he? Back to the inside section. It wasn't the best part of the track. I have to add some lengths onto that run. If you're giving the winner of that race, Gunstock, a chance, and many are, he must have one.
That is the full field for the running of this year's Penfolds Victoria Derby. Michelle, who's the best in the yard?
For me, it's number 4. I think he looks fantastic. He's just a quality horse. He really paraded well here today, and I think he's going to be very hard to beat.
All right, so Michelle is with Gunstock. He looks magnificent. There is the man who trains Gunstock, Mick Price. Nervous final moments. Jared, the tab, where is the money going?
Many are with Gunstock, of course, which has gone around favourite in all 4 of its starts. Looks as though it'll start favourite again. But look at that marker. You've got 5 there, not separated by much, and the money's pretty even across them as well. Hitotsu on the second line of betting, though, there was $8 earlier in the week, $5 now. Allegron with James Cummings looking for back-to-back Group 1s. It got to $9.50 and into as short as $7. Tutakaka, the Kiwi, riding a lot of bets for it. And you can see Clyde there, $34. He was $101 on Tuesday.
Wow.
And our Quaddy as well. It's the first leg, Michael, and it's projected to get to $5 million for Super Tab customers, and you just need to find the winners in the last 4 races. Simple, isn't it, Gator?
Oh, it's easy work.
Yeah, Gator will help out with that. You've got to be in it. If you're not in it, you can't win it. $5 million bonus. So get your Quaddy bets on. Who are we with in the Derby, Gator?
I'm Team Hitotsu. I think he'll run the trip right out. I'm not worried about the jumping trip. Concede history's there for a reason, but look, I'm thinking he'll run really well here and probably into the best horse. Forgot You as a ripper. He's so strong at the end of his race. Cerberus, my best roughie.
Gee whiz, if Hitotsu and Forgot You fight out the finish as you've predicted, the Adelphi Hotel in Melbourne will be going off, and we've got our very own
work.
What a first Group 1 on Derby Day it was. The Tab Empire rose. The training performance from James Cummings to get Colette up to win after an earlier setback in the Spring Carnival was absolutely magnificent. Not only did she collect $600,000 for winning, also $1 million bonus, which now takes her prize money to $7.8 million. And it was a masterful ride by Damien Oliver. Another Group 1, his 24th, the equal of all jockeys in the history of the Melbourne Cup Carnival with Bobby Lewis, and he is now just 2 behind the all-time Australian Group 1 record with George Moore for any jockey. He is an absolute legend. The wind has picked up here, Gator. Yep. We're feeling it where we are, and as you can have a look at the wind tracker, it's around about 14, 15 kilometres still coming from the north, so I'm not too sure it'll have that much of an impact for the runners during the race.
Look, I'd be surprised if it affected the result, but look, wind does have an impact on athletes, and as they turn out of the straight into that back straight, they'll have to face the breeze and maybe a bit of cover preferred there.
The start is all important. It's the 2,500 metre start point. There is only a couple of 100 metres, and this is where it is nervous for all connections involved, especially at the Adelphi Hotel, where the connections of Hitotsu and also Forgot You, Aussie Keir and the crew are there, and so is Nick Butler. What's the atmosphere like, Nick?
Hello, Michael, getting pretty electric. Oh, Collar Aussie is right here. Oz, if you have to pick one of your children, which one are you looking at now?
I think, I can see Hitotsu coming in, but I think Forgot You might give him on the line, so either one's good.
And they're just getting nicely Up and about. I think they'll have a bob each way. The money coming for Hitotsu, but they won't care here. Going very, very nicely, Michael.
Oh, it sounds like it. Good luck to you if they can win. And what about the day for Aussie Kia and John O'Neill, Bray, who are in the horse because they also part-own incentivise the short price favourite in the Lexus Melbourne Cup, and Very Elegant, who is now also going to run. So they are going to have a good time today. Final word, Gator, milling behind the barriers. Which way are we going? You sticking strong, Hitotsu?
Well, I think so. I think, you know, as you say, he's jumping in trip, but look, the stable aren't worried about it, so why should I be? I think he's a really exciting horse. I think it's a derby this year with a lot of quality. We'll hopefully get some real depth into Australian racing off the back of this.
A couple of really good goes today as far as the markets are concerned. Jared, what about in the Derby?
They're on the David Gately train here. Hitotsu's been $6 into $4.60 with Tab bolted into favouritism, although recent history is against, because, well, the last 5 winners have started $9 or longer, and only one favourite's won in the last 10 years. That was Tarzino, the sire of Jungle Magnate.
All right, it might be an omen. James Winks is down there amongst it behind the barriers, and Winksy, this is where it gets really nervous for the jocks.
Yeah, a few of them are twitchy, but look, you'd be not human if you weren't. It's a great race to be a part of. I thought you touched on the win before, Michael. Yes, it has picked up a little bit, but as Gator said, I'd be very surprised if it affects the result of the race.
And just a quick one to let the viewers know, this start, how difficult is it for those drawn wide?
Yeah, well, as you can see, we're at the furlong pole here, which is 200 metres to the first turn. And yeah, you've got to be on your game. So you don't think about it, you just got to do it in this case, because you run into a bottleneck there pretty quick. So get your spot and then rest after that.
It is one of the great races, the 168th running of the Penfolds Victoria Derby. Legends such as Farlap, Tulloch, Tobin Bronze, Dulcify, Mahogany and Efficient have won this race. Who will be the next to etch their name into the record books? Let's take you to Matt Hill for his call of the Penfolds Victoria Derby.
Rocco goes in, Forgot You is about to load forwards. We await on Allegron, Gunstock and also Raging Bull. As Forgot You takes a middle alley next door to its stablemate. Hitotsu ridden by John Allen with a white distinguishing cap. El Rocco is in, Allegron joins the line with Raging Bull, and here is the favourite in Gunstock to take the outside alley, along with Cerberus, who has drawn the extreme outside. The blue riband, the Penfolds Victoria Derby at 2,500 metres. As Cerberus takes the outside, and they're set for the Victoria Derby. And they're racing. Hitotsu away fairly, Forgot You out well, with Character out wider, Gun Deck and Akahiro over on the far side. So after 100 metres, it's Character forcing up outside of Gun Deck, Akahiro and Forgot You's nice and close, and they were followed by Clyde. T-Waters the rails, Jungle Magnate's a bit closer as we were told, and then checked off heels there and overreacted, and as a result checked Allegron. Next in the field, Hitotsu, and then came Gunstock. One off the fence, Choo Choo Car from Commander Harry. Then came El Rocco, Cheerful Moment, and Cerberus is last in the Derby. To the Riverside, 1900 to go, and Jungle Magnate, after that incident on the first turn, is going to press on for Luke Curry and go to the front. At the 1800 metres, it's Jungle Magnate by a length and 3/4, Gun Deck, Akahiro third, and fourth, one off the fence, Character. A length and a half away, T-Waters next underneath of Forgot You. They were followed by Clyde, deeper Allegron, then Raging Bull. Further back, Hitotsu and Gunstock, and then came Commander Harry, El Rocco, Cheerful Moment, well back with Choo Choo Kaka. Cerberus is last at the 1400 metres. The leader is Jungle Magnate at a bit of a crawl here in the Derby by a length and a quarter to Gun Deck and Akahiro. El Rocco improving its position. Then came Character and Allegron still deep from T-Waters, Forgot You. A length Gunstock, Clyde, Raging Bull from Cheerful Moment. Hitotsu's got 3 behind it. They are Commander Harry, Choo Choo Kaka and Cerberus is last in the Derby. So 1,000 metres to run. It's Jungle Magnate the leader by about a length, El Rocco. A length and a half to Gun Deck third outside of Akahiro and Allegron working hard wider. Then came Character, Forgot You as 5 off the lead from Raging Bull and T-Waters. Then Gunstock a length to Clyde, Commander Harry, Choo Choo Kaka, Cheerful Cheerful Moment. Well back at Totsu's gone back to second last, and Cerberus is last of all. 600 to go. It's Jungle Magnate leading from El Rocco, and then came Allegron, dug up out 3 wide. Gun Deck behind those horses. Character presents 4 deep. Akahiro behind them from T Waters. Forgot You with a lot to do from Commander Harry. Choo Choo Car unleashing down the outside as Allegron went for home. 350 out, it's Allegron. It's done some work, but it kicks away. 2.5 lengths in front of Hitotsu, who's out into the clear and chasing. Allegron at the 200. Here's Hitotsu, though, finishing at a rate of knots. Hitotsu goes on by. Hitotsu storms away. Hitotsu wins the Penfolds Victoria Derby. 2 lengths Allegron. T Waters third. Raging Bull fourth. A long gap Forgot You. Choo Choo Car. Next to finish Cerberus Clyde. Then Character Jungle Magnate. Well back in the field, Gun Deck, Gunstock, Commander Harry. Then a long gap Akahiro, El Rocco, and Cheerful Moment was last.
Hitotsu has won the Penfolds Victorian Derby. The Adelphi will be going off. Congratulations to Aussie Keir and all the connections. That is a remarkable win. He has rewritten the record books, Hitotsu becoming the first horse since 1956 to go from a Caulfield Guinea straight into a Derby and win at just his 6th start. For Johnny Allen, after winning the Cox Plate last week, he's now won another Group 1, the Victoria Derby. It was a cool ride, David Gately. The horse was travelling. All he needed was an out, and he was far too strong.
Look at those scenes at the Adelphi. Stop it. Look at those scenes at the Adelphi. Welcome back, Melbourne. We're back, and this horse is a potential star. Sits back. He was bold. We turned to each other and said, if he gets a run, he's going to lap them. He gets out and he rockets to the line. He quickened like a good horse. Good athletes quicken, Michelle. Good horses, they can accelerate, and that's what he did at the end of 2,500 metres.
He did, and what a cool ride by Johnny Allen. I think he's won about 6 derbies in the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah. He's absolutely dominating them, and this horse, you can just see he's got quality about him, but to step up from 1,600 to the 25 today and dominate like that, I think the ride helped him, but it was just an amazing win.
And what about the training performance? Those 2 men there, Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace, to have got this horse at just his 6th start and to have handled him so well, to put the miles in his legs, going from just 2 runs this time in at 1,300 and 1,600. They are master trainers of stayers.
No doubt. It's almost unprecedented, but that's what they can do. And it was the least of my concerns. It was the least of their concerns, more importantly. Just having the horse under. He's a clean-winded athlete. He just stays and he sprints. Something really to be excited about. Australia need another star. He might be it.
He could well be. Hitotsu defeating Allegron, and T Waters has run a huge race. 9, 3 and 6 across the line. Johnny Allen, Irish eyes smiling again after the Cox Plate last week. He's now got a Victoria Derby on the mantelpiece, Winksy.
He does, Michael, and it's his 2nd Victorian Derby and the Penfold Victorian Derby winning Johnny Allen. Looked like a messy race going out of the straight the first time, Johnny, and then there was no tempo. A bit of, I think it was Curry took off to put a bit of speed in. You're back in a sticky spot.
Yeah, look, we set like a nice position out of the straight, but then the tempo just kept backing out of the race, and there's a 3 wide line outside us, which I was trying to get out on because all the fancied ones seemed to be out there, but they kept coming around me and keep me in, so we just had to ride for a bit of luck around the corner, but geez, he travelled that well. I just needed a gap, and once we got out, the rest is history.
Yeah, you probably would be agree to say that you won the race by cutting the corner, and obviously you had the horse to be there for you, but when the run presented, he was pretty special.
Possibly, yeah, but look, he's a pretty classy horse. I've no doubt he's good enough to win a Group 1 over a mile, so hopefully he can prove that in the autumn.
And Aussie Kerr, Johnny O'Neill, Bray, they just keep getting these good horses. Kieran Maher and Dave, great training performance.
Yeah, look, all those owners, they put the money in and they deserve everything they get, and yeah, look, Kieran and David, I needn't pump the tyres anymore. Everyone knows how good a trainer's there.
Oh, well, fresh off a Cox Plate now, Victorian Derby winner. Hopefully continues for the week, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, what a win. Hitotsu and Johnny Allen, and for Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace, it's your first Victoria Derby. Kieran, congratulations. A training performance like we haven't seen for more than 70 years to win that race with the preparation he's had.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a really good Will Bourne, my bloodstock manager. He sort of sourced the horse, and we went down and had a look at him. He was fairly immature, and that's probably why his program has developed the way he has. You know, we didn't want to. He's still relatively immature horse. He's very clean-winded, and yeah, with his run in the Guineas, we were happy to go to the Guineas off a maiden, and he was probably the strongest on the line in the Guineas. And we didn't want to over-race him in because he is mature. We were happy with his fitness and, you know, he's clean-winded. And, yeah, here we are. Fantastic.
He was travelling as a horse to beat from so far out. What was going through your mind at the top of the straight?
Yeah, I thought, God, just needs a run. He's going to blow him away. Johnny Allen, you know, he does a lot for us in the stable. No better man to have around. And, you know, he's making a habit of winning these big ones. He's got so much confidence. And, yeah, just the whole team up there. This horse trains predominantly at Ballarat. Super job by everyone. Even Quinton, he lost his father. He works tirelessly in the stable. Lost his father last week, so a shout out to him. And yeah, it's just super, you know, to get a victory like this, the VRC Derby on, you know, what's arguably the biggest day of racing.
Walk with me as he comes in and just tell me a bit about the horse and what attracted you to him, because he's a beautiful looking individual.
Well, it's probably what he'd done on the track, and when I went and had a look at him about 6 months ago, wasn't a lot of him there, but what he was doing on the track for how he looked was unbelievable. So, yeah, now just to see him, you know, even since the Guineas, you know, he'll be awesome in the autumn.
I was going to say, he's so lightly raced with so much potential. How good could he be?
Yeah, he could be the real deal. It'd be interesting to see what Johnny thinks. He's the man sitting on him.
The teams at the Adelphi Hotel, they are celebrating as well as John Allen and also Kieran Maher celebrate. Kieran Maher will be heading down to the Adelphi Hotel to see the boys afterwards. And John Allen, as he weighs in, what a 7 days for the Irish superstar, winning the Cox Plate last week and now one of the great classics in Australia on Hitotsu. John, congratulations. What a moment for you. What was going through your mind? Because he looked like he was travelling so strongly throughout the race.
Yeah, look, it was a messy race, but he relaxed to his credit. He was always dropped his head and was going nicely. And I was trying to get out in the 3-wide line because the more fancied ones are out there, but they kept coming around with me and keeping me in there. So that forced me probably to ride for a bit of luck through the corner. But I was just going that easily. It was a matter of the smallest little gap, he was going to just point him and he was going well enough to get through there. So once he got through there, he picked up well and yeah, won with a bit of authority.
You got Explosive Jack in the Cup on Tuesday. Can you believe the spring you're having?
Yeah, no, unbelievable. Look, getting great opportunities from owners and trainers. Kieran and David have been huge supporters of mine, and yeah, thankful I can pay him back with winning a few races.
Congratulations, John.
Cheers, thank you.
John Allen winning his second Victoria Derby. Nick Butler, it'll be going off at the Adelphi.
Yes, it is just starting to heat up here at the Adelphi. I've got Johnny O'Neill and his beautiful fiancée here. John, you've been around racing a long time. How special was that? Where does that sit?
Unreal, mate. Just to do it with Aussie and a heap of our mates and to have Joe and all of our friends here, extraordinary. Kieran Maher and David Eustace done a wonderful job, and Will Bourne bought this horse last year after we saw a trial really well and worked really well. So lots of work from lots of people, but just a wonderful occasion for everyone.
And it was just poetry how it unfolded, and beautiful for the crowd here as Johnny Allen just let loose.
Yeah, look, he did, and look, he's a great rider, Johnny. Kieran's a really big believer in him, and as I said, our group of owners and friends really love Kieran and David. So amazing result for all of us. Unbelievable.
Beautiful. Congratulations. I reckon the pool might get a workout now.
Yeah, Dion Presti is going to get his gear off and jump in, apparently. So.
just firing up here. Back to you, Michael.
And he'll be closely followed by Nick Butler, if I know Nick Butler. Johnny O'Neill, that's his second Victoria Derby in 3 years. He was a part owner of Warning as well. Hitotsu, a star of the future, may have emerged, winning this year's Penfolds Victoria
racing in the Melbourne Cup.
Australia's greatest racing event is here.
Give them a cheer, Australia. They're on top of the world.
Lexus Melbourne Cup Day. Tuesday, live on 10 and 10 Play on demand.
This program is proudly brought to you by McPhail's Furniture, with flat rate delivery and furniture in stock. Shop online or on Facebook. Madden's Lawyers. You deserve the best. And Volcanic Lake and Plains.
And there is the winning jockey, John Allen, with the trophy for this year's Penfolds Victoria Derby. That's the second Victoria Derby for John Allen, and what a spring carnival he is having just a week after winning the Cox Plate. Michelle, you know John very well because where you train and where you grew up at Ballarat, that's where he is doing a lot of his work as well. He came over from Ireland just hoping to become a jumps jockey, and now he's one of the best jockeys in the land.
It's an amazing story, Michael. He came over, hoping just to get a job to ride in jumps races, and he's just worked so hard. Like, I was riding work with him, and we'd ride 20 horses together. He was there day in, day out, and he's just built his way up, and now he's at the top.
And it was a beautiful ride too. He didn't panic. He had so much horse underneath him. As we have a look at jockey cam, it was a messy Victoria Derby. There was some severe interference out of the straight the first time. They weren't going that fast. How difficult a race is that to ride in?
Yeah, it was really messy. We saw it chopping and changing. The best part about Johnny Allen's ride, I felt, was that he just stayed so cool, calm and collected. He was back in behind the field. He had nowhere to go at one stage, but he just had to keep his horse balanced and wait for the run. And that's the beauty of Johnny Allen. He's such a horseman that when the run did come, the horse was ready to go. And here we see him down the outside, and he just had this electric finish at the end of 2,500 metres. And we've seen Johnny Allen. I think he's won like 6 derbies now around Australia. He's just absolutely dominating them, and he's just such a great rider of stayers. I think that's why he's just doing so well, and he's getting some support from some top trainers, and I think it's just going to get bigger and better.
There's no doubt about that. He is the Derby King, and Hitotsu, that speed at the end of 2,500 metres was simply electric. He'll be a horse to follow in the next 12 months. Well done again to all the connections. Kieran Maher, Dave Eustace, a masterful training performance. Hitotsu, the winner of this year's Penfolds Victoria Derby. Great performance by the runner-up as well, and also the third horse, which ran a magnificent race as well. We'll give you those dividends in a moment. We'll also be heading out to the presentation for the Victoria Derby in a moment. Don't forget, though, all the action that's still to come. We've got 2 magnificent Group 1 races to come, and then at 5:25 we have the all-important barrier draw for the Lexus Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. What's your favourite barrier in the Melbourne Cup?
Well, I drew barrier 1 on Prince of Penzance, and it was actually the winning formula for him, I felt. But it depends on the horse. Sometimes you're better to draw out a little bit where you don't have to rush to hold a position from an inside barrier. Depends on your horse if you need room. It's just it's the luck of the draw and luck in running.
All right, we'll see who draws barrier 1 and all the others coming up very soon. In the meantime, let's head out to Nat Hunter for the presentation of the Penfolds Victoria Derby.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nat Hunter from Network 10, and welcome to Flemington Racecourse for the 2021 Penfolds Victoria Derby Trophy presentation. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Neil Wilson, the chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Miss Christy Kite, Penfolds Chief Marketing Officer, and Kevin Payne, the winning owner representative for Hitotsu. I would now like to invite the chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. Neil Wilson, to say a few words.
Thank you, Natalie, and what a sensational race that was. Really enjoyable down the straight here at fabulous Flemington. We've just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, the 168th running of Victoria Derby, proudly presented by Penfolds today for the first time. We're so pleased to be making this presentation in front of people on course here at Flemington today. Flemington feels alive again, and the VRC is so pleased to have crowds back here enjoying this wonderful racing and certainly the Penfolds Victoria Derby. What a race it was. Congratulations to Hitotsu, trainers Kieran Maher, David Eustace and jockey John Allen. What a ride it was from John. So congratulations, and it's now my pleasure to hand over to Miss Kirsty Kite, Penfolds Chief Marketing Officer. Thank you.
VRC Chairman, Directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible race and what an outstanding win by Hitotsu, who will join many champions that have won this time-honoured race since 1855. This moment made even sweeter thanks to racegoers gathered trackside at Flemington today. Yay. Congratulations to the VRC. We wish you well for the best week of racing in the world. Penfolds is proud to be the official partner of the Penfolds Victoria Derby Day. We are thrilled to bring a splash of red to the track, a day known for black and white. At Penfolds, we're passionate about marking moments, whether it be birthdays, anniversaries, or winning an iconic horse race. To celebrate this special moment, we will present a rare barrel of McGill Cellar 3 to the winner of the Derby, which will become an annual tradition for many years to come. Congratulations to the winning owners, trainers and jockey of Hitotsu. I hope you can celebrate this momentous occasion with a Penfolds in hand.
Thank you, Christy. I'd now like to invite Miss Christy Kite, who is the Penfolds Chief Marketing Officer, to present the 2021 Now over to you, Katie, to speak to the winning connections.
Thank you very much, Nat. It is absolutely my pleasure to congratulate the winning jockey of this year's 2021 Penfolds Victoria Derby in John Allen. John, congratulations. You look like you just needed a little bit of luck and you had a supreme athlete underneath you.
Yeah, look, we were very confident going into the race. We were confident he was the best horse in the race. Obviously, the trip was a bit of a query, but just rolled him to relax early, and yeah, we're in a little bit of a tricky spot around the home corner, but he was going that easy. I just needed to weave a bit of a pattern. Once there was an opening there, he was always going well enough to take it, and yeah, once he got into the clear to 300, he really put the rest to bed pretty quickly.
You made the decision to come out from Ireland as a jumps jockey. That's well and truly paid off now. I'm sure that there's people that you would like to thank.
Yeah, look, I've got great opportunities from a lot of owners, trainers. I suppose I better thank my parents, and also look, all my family and anyone that's supported me over the last, I suppose, 20 years of my career now and early. It's been a rocky road at times, but definitely reaping benefits now.
All right, congratulations, John. Hopefully celebrating with a nice glass of Penfolds Grange this evening.
Certainly, it will go down well.
How good will that be tonight, washing down a victory in the Penfolds Victoria Derby with some of Penfolds' finest. The Group 1 continues, because up next it is the Coolmore Stud Stakes, and this is the race where millionaires are made, because the winner of this race will be worth maybe upwards of $20 million. Let's go over to WA now, and we've got Britt Taylor again to tell us who she likes in this year's Coolmore Stud Stakes. How are you, Britt?
I'm well, and I learned something out of the Derby, Michael, and that is we don't take on Gator. We've been taking on James Winks throughout the 10-6 podcast series. That's okay. We can wager with him with a bottle of Penfolds, but Gator, too sharp, and he got me there.
I said now I'm bringing Michelle in this time because his head would have just got too big. We couldn't have even fit it in this stage. So well done to Gator, though. Who are we looking to from your perspective in the Coolmore Stud Stakes? 16 chances. There are a number that could win it.
I really like In the Congo here. I just like that Golden Rose form. The Sydney form for me is the form to follow. I think drawn the right side of the Flemington straight as well has to be a massive chance. We know the horse can run time, and they're going to need to do that too here as well, because it's a brilliant edition of the Coolmore.
Yeah, it would be great for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott to win another feature and in the Congo was so strong in Sydney, winning that Golden Rose. It's a horse that likes to go to the front. That's it, with a beautiful baldy face and the white socks. Went straight to the front in the Golden Rose, and the form line out of this is Animo, which just got beaten in the Cox Plate, so it's a pretty strong form reference.
Oh, it is. I love this horse. He's just so tough. What worries me about him, though, is running down the straight for the first time. It's a real change for horses, and with this horse you see him really kick off a corner, so that's just my question mark on him, because he has got a lot of really good horses chasing him here today, but he's certainly tough and he's going to be the one to beat.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It is a bit of state v state. That's the Sydney form. The Melbourne form could be Extreme Warrior, who was simply phenomenal, winning the Blue Sapphire a couple of weeks ago at Caulfield. Britt, this horse has come from nowhere, really, and he was just so dominant winning last start.
Dominant is the word that comes to mind. The way he had the back of Profiteer and just went past Profiteer like he was standing still. It was just an absolute dominant victory, and a horse that's on a rapid rise.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Have a look at the finish and the acceleration. This was the most impressive part of it, Michelle, because look at the gap that he's put on some pretty smart colts.
Yes, Profiteer in second. He's a good colt, but what I love about him is that he just gets stronger and stronger to the line, and I think what will suit him here down the straight is he's going to be on the back of them. He's going to be the one really challenging late. We've seen the track racing really well for horses come from behind, and that might be the key to him, and I think he's really progressive.
All right, we'll get your thoughts in a moment when we head back out to the mounting yard. Britt, we'll catch up with you soon. Good luck in the Coolmore.
You guys too.
All right, Britt Taylor over in WA. We'll take a performance it was by Hitotsu. Johnny Allen in the saddle, Kieran Marr, Dave Eustace winning their first Victoria Derby, and that man is on fire just 7 days after winning the Cox Plate. Hitotsu, a horse of the future, just his sixth start, and he has won one of the oldest and most prestigious races in Australia, the Penfolds Victoria Derby. Still more Group 1 action to come here at Fabulous Flemington. The next is the Coolmore Stud Stakes, and this is a field of 16, and for the colts involved, it can cement their place as stallions and $1 million careers. Autorius is an interesting runner, a $6 chance. It's an open market. Extreme Warrior, the favourite at $4. Jai McNeil in the saddle. As you can see, there are a number that are big prices in this race. Let's get into the mounting yard. We've got 16 to get through. Shaquiro is where we start. Chris Waller has 4 runners in this race. He's won 4 of the last 8 Coolmores. Can he do it with the Magic Millions winner, Shaquiro?
Well, he did a pretty good job, I thought, first up at the Valley in the Group 1 Moya against the older horses. I thought Caulfield was forgivable, and I think that track suited him, so he can certainly run better than that price you're giving me.
Number 2 is Artorius. He's probably the most intriguing runner in the race. He's coming back from the mile of the Caulfield Guineas, freshened up to run over the 1200. How does he look, Michelle?
He looks well, Michael. I would have loved to have seen him just really aim for this race from the start. It's an ask for him to come back from that distance against some really good sprinters, but he does look well. He's not my favourite of the yard, but can't say he looks badly.
Yeah, look, it is an ask to come back to 1600. It's not as if he's a pick-up and quicken horse at the best of times. So coming back to 1200 is a query for me, but he'll be surging late.
Number 3 is Ingratiating. Disappointing 2 starts ago, but it was a return to what we know he can produce in the Group 1 Manikato last start.
Yeah, well, it was his first ever average run, so obviously, he wasn't ever having an off day, and we can all do that. His run last start at the Valley against the older horses at Group 1 level was very good, so he's proven up the straight. He's some hope.
Number 4 is one of the favourites, and that is In the Congo. For Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott, Craig Williams in the saddle. This horse is a beauty. A brilliant winner of the Golden Rose last up. Blinkers go on today, Michelle.
Yeah, they do. An interesting gear addition for him. He looks really well. My query on him is being sharp for the 1200, but I think he's looking outstanding in the yard. He's really healthy in his coat. He's stepping out beautifully in the way he's walking, and he looks well.
Well, he was bloused by Animo and then beat the Cox Plate runner-up in a fast Golden Rose, doing it all from the front. Back to 1200, again, perhaps a little query, but gee, he's going to take some beating.
Number 5 is Home Affairs, another of Chris Waller's runners. James McDonald, who's already had a couple of winners today, cost $875,000 when it went through the ring. He was brilliant in the Heritage 2 starts ago, but he wilted up against the big boys last start.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't all that far off the elites, though. Last time, his win first up was terrific. He led, he kicked, he ran fast. Time he beat a key rival in Paulel, and he did it with 59 kilos.
You speak of Falili, and that is the next horse we're going to have a look at. Damien Oliver, James Cummings, and gee, I love this colt. He's had 5 wins from 9 starts. He was so strong in the Roman Consul.
Yeah, all the forms just tie in. It's as simple as that. He keeps running really good time, really good figures. He must have a case.
The stablemate is Kalos, number 7. Fred Kersley rides. Dominant in the Danehill last start down the straight.
Yeah, it looked an even race on paper, but you are spot on in that he controlled it up front and won by a decisive margin. Time was okay without raving. Draws out to control things out on that outside section.
Brett Preble rides number 8, Ranch Hand. He's drawn the outside down the straight. Chris Waller again. It was a phenomenal win 2 starts ago. What went wrong in the Danehill?
Oh, look, he just found some traffic. It was a race dominated up front by Kalos. The first run you referenced, overcoming, being flattened and picking up and winning was terrific.
Number 9 is one of the favourites here, Extreme Warrior. Big price with Kent Jr. He was dominant last start, Michelle, in the blue Sapphire. How does he look to you?
He looks well. He's actually a lot smaller than I imagined him to be. He's actually really tiny, but he's really strong in saying that, and he looks really well in the mounting out here, so he's going to run a really good race.
Well, he was outstanding last time. He ran a huge last 600 figure off a strong speed. There were huge gaps behind. One of those was Scissor Step, who ran so well last week.
He's a strong, nuggety-looking individual, isn't he, Extreme Warrior? Number 10 is Extreme Flight. Anthony and Sam Friedman train, dropping back from the 1,400 metres of the Gothic Stakes last start. And as you can see, he's a big price, about 50 to 1. Number 11 is Sword of State from the Jamie Richards stable over in New Zealand. Came over here with a big rap with some big wins in New Zealand. His 2 Australian starts have probably been a little below par, hence why he is $71. Move over to number 12, which is Bruckner. This too was another high-priced yearling, $725,000 from the Mar Eustace stable. Michelle, what does Bruckner look like?
He's a beautiful horse, Michael. I've always followed this horse and just got real class about him. For me, I'm not sure whether he is an absolute sprinter. He looks more like a horse that would be suited over 1,400 metres, maybe even a mile. So my question mark is he going to be sharp enough for this field?
Well, he beat Artorias 2 runs ago and then right on the heels of Keller. So all the form ties in. Draws inside, though.
Number 13 is Overpass. Good to see Froggy Newitt with a Group 1 ride. Bjorn Baker from Sydney got beaten by Pileli last start in the Roman Consul. $41. It looks like there's been some specking. Not the worst. Number 14 is Marine 1. Kiramar, Dave Eustace, Dean Yendall, who's already had a big win today. He's won his last 2. This is a big step up in class, but he's in form at $41. And then we go down to number 15, which is Mink's Moment. Another of the Waller runners. Super impressive 2 starts winning at the Valley. Got beaten a long way behind Extreme Warrior last start, 7 lengths, but I think $61 is a big price. If you're playing multiples, he may be a first 4 contender. And rounding out the field is number 16, Battle On. Rachel King rides, Bjorn Baker as well, one of the outsiders at $81. Michelle, we've got some stunning looking individuals in the Coolmore Stud Stakes. Who caught your eye?
Number 3, actually, Ingratiating. He's coming back from running 3rd in the Manicato, and I just think he looks the best of these here as a sprinter. He's really strong, and he just looks outstanding. For me, he's the best.
All right, Ingratiating, the best from the yard for Michelle. Jared Middleton from the tab. Who is the money coming for?
Extreme Warrior at the top of the market here. What a race this is, and a lot of the ratings and sectional gurus rated this win very highly in the Blue Sapphire, and it's 4 into 380 here late. On the next line of betting, look at that battle, $6.50 each of 3. Of those, best back clearly is Paul Ailey. Best back to beat the favourite, it is there as well. Of those at odds, there's been some money for Mink's Moment. Tab's written a lot of bets for it. It is a losing result in the book there. It's $61, trained by that man, Chris Waller.
Gator, you're on fire, tipping the Derby winner at a decent price before the Gator army followed in and crunched it. Who do you like in the Coolmore?
Yeah, both of them must be big punters. Look, I'm with Extreme Warrior. I think he's a potential star. I love that win last time. So much substance on the clock. In the Congo, it's going to take some catching. And Home Affairs, I can forgive his miss last time. I think he's the value play.
All right, they are heading to the gates for the Coolmore Stud Stakes. That is number 3, Ingratiating Michelle Payne's Best from the Yard. We'll be back with another Group 1 after the break.
Get a wish, girl, I'm throwing you a pound. Get down, get down, get down. Jewels in your crown and your face looks sound. New man and he's showing you around.
Best and Fabulous Flemington. It's getting a little chilly. The wind has picked up a bit here on one of the great race days anywhere in the world, and we've got one of the most prestigious sprint races anywhere in the world about to come up, and that is the Coolmore Stud Stakes. As you can see, it's coming from the north. Certainly doesn't feel like it's coming from the north. 15 kilometres down the straight where they are running. It is a 10-kilometre wind, and it will be slightly into their face on the left-hand side. Gator, they are milling behind the barriers here. I believe the Army has gathered themselves once again. Jared, the hot horse here.
Wow, go. Extreme Warrior here, 4 into $3.40 in a race of many chances, many punters' favourites. As far as the money's concerned, they're cleared out on 2. Extreme Warrior and also Paul Lely has been heavily backed as well late.
All right. Gay Waterhouse is the trainer of In the Congo, and Gator is with her.
Thanks, Michael. I'm joined by the legendary Gay Waterhouse. Gay, lovely to see you. In the Congo, he's a ripping horse. How has he freshened up back to 1200?
I think he's really going well. He looks a picture. You could see him walking around there today. Craig feels quietly confident. Now you might all say, "Oh, Craig and I are a good double." But I thought his work the other day was very nice, and he only went over a couple of furlongs, but he did it well, really well.
You'll use his speed from the front, you think?
I think he will.
Yep.
Yes, he's bad if he doesn't. He's a speed horse.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good to see Gay Waterhouse here at Flemington. They're making a good line, Gator. Big field. Where will they go? Will they split? Will they come as a bunch?
Yeah, I think they'll come up the middle this time. You saw that they sort of merged together, didn't they, in the other sprint race? Small field, though. So some inexperienced gallops, a few of them seeing the straight for the first time.
Yep, it'll be fascinating. A big payday for whoever can win the Coolmore Stud Stakes. The favourite is Extreme Warrior. Let's take it to Matt Hill for his call of the Coolmore.
It's turned with Ranch Hand. Also Minsk Moment. So it looks as though we've got 3 or 4 to load over there. As Ranch Hand is brought forward for Brett Preble. Takes an outside Ellie. The favourite in the Rosemont Red, Extreme Warrior. As Sword of State goes into a middle Ellie. We await on Minsk Moment. And Ingratiating takes a centre Ellie. Barrier number 8 in the Godolphin Blue, and Minsk Moment is the last one. The field is locked away for the Coolmore. Set to go. Ready, and away they go. Beginning okay was Paulele. Artorias away only fairly. Overpass erratic early. Showing speed. Home Affairs led within the Congo. Shaquiro, Marine 1 and Kalos. And they were followed by Sword of State, Extreme Warrior, Bruckner. Further back is Battleton in the middle of the field as they settle down, and they're all coming over towards the far side rail. Overpasses in the back half with Paulele. Also Ranch Hand and Minsk Moment. Ingratiating is also well back. 700 metres to run, and the leader is in the Congo with Home Affairs, Marine 1, Shaquiro behind them, followed by Kalos, Sword of State, Extreme Warrior. Next, Battleton, Extreme Flight and Bruckner. Well back in the field, Paulele, Ranch Hand, Ingratiating, Overpass, and they were followed by Artorias and Minsk Moment. That's the order of the 400 metres at its Home Affairs just in front here, and now kicks clear. Home Affairs opens up and put up 2 lengths. Sword of State, Extreme Warrior getting out, followed by Kalos, Battleton. Home Affairs went for home at the 150. 3-4 lengths in front. It's put a gap in them. Home Affairs, Bruckner out into second, but Home Affairs has made a mess of them. Home Affairs from Bruckner. Artorias flashing through for third. Then came Ranch Hand, and next Overpass, Battleton, Ingratiating, Minsk Moment. Further back, Shaquiro. Next in the field, Extreme Warrior, Sword of State. Then Marine 1. Next, Paulele, never involved from Extreme Flight in the Congo, got tired. Minsk Moment. And Kalos at the tail of the field, but it's J-Mac with a big treble at Flemington on Home Affairs.
J-Mac and Chris Waller make it 3 for the day, and that was jaw-dropping. Home Affairs has absolutely obliterated them in the Coolmore. They've run 108.73, Gator, and look at J-Mac. He is pumped, as you would be.
Absolutely loves it, J-Mac. It's a one-horse race. It looked about a 7 or 8 horse race on paper. We didn't know where to look. Nowhere to look now. Home Affairs is the king of the mountain. He has blitzed on and run super fast time. You mentioned that 1:8.74, smashed the clock. This is one of the most exciting horses in the country.
Bruckner's run enormous, finishing second, $9.60. Artorias, a great performance to come back from the Caulfield Guineas, but it's all about that horse, Home Affairs. What a moment for Coolmore, the breeding conglomerate. $875,000 this son of I Am Invincible cost. That is chicken feed now. He'll be a 20 million plus future stallion.
That's a wise investment. I'm not great at maths, but I think they're on the right path there. But what an explosive win. He just left them for dead at the 200. And J-Mac with him had the audacity to sit up the last bit of the race. And just the first thing I looked at was the clock, and he's just smashed it.
Couldn't believe how easily he joined in at the 200. He tackled the big guns in the Everest. Yeah. And what about the training performance of Chris Waller? Third time he's trained 3 winners on Derby Day, and that now gives him 5 out of the last 8 Coolmore stud stakes.
Well, yeah, it's just one of the best I've seen. Chris Waller and his team, they just get their horses right. They find the little idiosyncrasies and they get them right on the day, and Home Affairs was that times 2. Bruckner was good. He hit the line nicely, and Artorias looked hopeless mid-race, but it's really savaged the line. But you're right, it's all about the winner.
What about J-Mac turning his Spring Carnival around after the heartbreak of Zaki in the Cox Plate last week? James Winks.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, we're here with James McDonald. 3 winners on Derby Day, but this is the most important one, a Coolmore for Coolmore.
Oh, 100%. This is what we come for, and to ride such a special colt like this, he was electric today. I couldn't believe at about the furlong. I was so far in front, and that's the acceleration of this horse. He just idled through the paces early. Nothing could keep up with him, and he ran at the 6 furlongs out so strong. He's a weapon, this horse.
So obviously Chris Waller, obviously back from an Everest. But this horse was just nearly going too good, wasn't he?
He's such a good trainer. We say it over and over time. He's just changed a bit of gear. Got the horse to relax. I did a piece of work on him the other day, and I said, God, he felt good up that straight. I don't know whether it was just because we're going 3/4 pace, but God, he just pricked his ears probably from the 600 onwards, and when I let him go, he just let rip. He's a beautiful specimen.
I was just going to say that the horse actually as an individual himself, he's walking back here like a gentleman. We didn't know he's a colt. He's got a neck on him like Tarzan, hasn't he? The backside, he's a full package. So.
He's a beauty. He's an absolute beauty, and that's his temperament, mind. That's what makes good horses, and to do it for these connections of great supporters of mine. Obviously, Sir Peter Valla's in it as well, and not just to mention him. There's a big syndicate, and they put a lot of money invested, and this is the results we're after.
Oh well, he's a high quality colt now, mate. Enjoy it.
Oh, he's beauty. Thank you.
All day.
J-Mac, he's a happy man, and why wouldn't you be? What a win to Home Affairs. Joe Taylor, co-hosting duties today on Network 10 for Derby Day. What an unbelievable day for the stable. You know Chris Waller better than most because you work so closely with him. What is it about Chris, his attention to detail, his affinity with the animal that allows him to produce these performances?
I think you'll find with Chris it's consistency day in and day out, and the routine stays the same. And he certainly is the man. He'll be there every single morning with the staff as well, having a walkthrough, and you'll find that all year round. So I think over the years, like I said, the consistency and the hard work, it certainly pays dividends.
Well, he is a freak. You have done a wonderful job running the Melbourne stable down here. And the good news is for all the 10 viewers, the best is still to come because you declared September running the last.
Yeah, look, it's such a fantastic team effort, and you can't we can't do it without all of our staff that do all the hard yards every day. So well done to all of them across the country, and let's hope I can help you again later on.
One quick one before we go. It's been confirmed now, Very Elegant is going to run in the Melbourne Cup, and J-Mac to partner her on Tuesday as well.
Well, an extra one, we'll take everything we've got, and she's in great order, and I'm sure she'll produce her best on the day.
Absolutely. Well done, Joe. Congratulations. What a performance it was. And have a look at James McDonald. Many say he could end up the greatest jockey we see here in Australia. The Kiwi who came across and has dominated Australian racing in the last few years. He'll be partnering Very Elegant on Tuesday, looking for his first Melbourne Cup. Derby Day in recent years hasn't been a great day for James McDonald. He has turned it all around now with a treble and that exhilarating win on Home Affairs. He is the man. Chris Waller is the man. Home Affairs is the horse. Another one. The Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes. There's still one to go. We'll take a break. Back with more on Network 10. Home Affairs is the newest millionaire of Australian racing, a multi-millionaire at that. He'll be valued at 20 million plus after absolutely demolishing the Coolmore Stud Stakes, giving Chris Waller his 5th win in the race in 9 years and his 3rd win here on Derby Day, along with the man of the moment, James McDonald. It was poetry in motion, and they burned the track running 108.74 to win this year's Coolmore. Great run also by those who finished, including Artorias in 3rd place. Don't you go anywhere, because coming up very soon we will have the announcement of the final field, the final 24 for this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup, and also the all-important barrier draw. We've still got one more Group 1 to go as well. And don't forget the Living End. That would be David Gately's favourite band, almost. In the mosh pit back in the day?
Oh, well, there was a day, it was a long time ago. How good is Aussie music? They're right at the top of the tree. They're
absolutely. All right, so don't forget the Living End coming. Let's just quickly recap what was a stunning win in the Coolmore. Michelle, we've seen you had a look at those horses in the mounting yard. These are the colts that will become the stallions of the future, and Home Affairs will be a horse we're talking about for a long time.
Absolutely, and he just relished the straight. You saw him just take off about the 400-metre mark and just left the rivals for dead, and was so strong through the line. He's a really quality-looking colt, and he's just gone through the roof now.
Yeah, look, it was just a breathtaking win. You know, I looked at the race pre-race and I thought there's a lot of really good horse in this become one of our great races on the calendar. I don't think there was a lot between them on the line. Well, between 2nd and 10th there wasn't, but there was a one-horse race out the front of it, and look at that chopper shot. He's only a length and change ahead of them now, but it's at this point, Michelle, the acceleration. That's what separates an average athlete, a garden variety one, from an elite one.
Absolutely, and he just let loose and dominated that field, and I think he's just going to get better and stronger, and that was just so exciting. He could be a real star for the future.
Huge run, Bruckner in 2nd, and look at Artorias in the red and yellow colours weaving his way through after coming from last. He's an enigmatic galloper, but he's certainly got a lot of ability. Artorias, who ran on really well.
Yeah, he was
coming back from the 1600 to the 1200. Not far away from the final field for the Lexus Melbourne Cup and the barrier draw. Let's head out to Katie Price, who's got a man who knows how to win a Melbourne Cup, Danny O'Brien.
Well, what a privilege it is to speak to this next pair, Lexus ambassadors, of course, in Danny and Nina O'Brien. Thanks so much for your time today, guys. Danny, it must have been a busy week at the stables. How does the nerves compare when you come here to Flemington?
Look, it's the biggest week of the year. We love it, and it's so much better this year with people back here. It was very flat last year, having an empty stadium for the Melbourne Cup, but no, we're really excited. Every race this week's a big race, and we've got plenty of runners throughout the week and hoping to hit the scoreboard somewhere.
2 years ago, of course, you won with Vow and Declare. It was a tough time before that. How much did it mean to come back and win that great race?
Oh, look, you train your whole career hoping to maybe one day win the Melbourne Cup, and we'd had a few chances in the race before, but never been able to win it, and that was just, it meant everything. It was a whole career's work, but finally achieve what's the ultimate in our sport.
And Nina, we saw those beautiful moments with you in the mountain yard afterwards. Did it change your life?
Well, I still had to wake up the next day, get the kids to school, do the washing. So yes and no. It does. Laugh never stops. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and it'll be great to repeat that again.
Well, we of course do have Miami Bound, which you're in the ownership group
I
for.
am.
Danny, can you reveal to us, have you got a jockey yet?
We have Patrick Maloney, who'll be riding Miami Bound, so we're very excited for Patrick to have him on board. And she had a gallop this morning at Geelong Racecourse with some blinkers on. We're going to put some blinkers on her in the race as well.
All right, we've got all the news covered here on Network 10. And of course, you've got Superstorm coming up shortly in the Cantala. All the punters want to be on this horse. They think he can run a big race.
He can, yeah. He's had a terrific spring. He won the Fian and he's very good in the Underwood and the Toorak. So we've always thought Flemington would suit him best, and he finally gets to Flemington today. Now,
Nina, tell us about this Lexus Live Forward ethos and how you apply that in your daily life with Danny O'Brien Racing.
Well, the whole Lexus Live Forward ethos is about looking after today to embrace the future. And we have just recently installed some solar panels at our private facility down at 13th Beach. So it's all about looking after the future and leaving something behind for the next generation.
Well, can't wait. It's going to be a massive week for you too. Best of luck a little later on with Superstorm, and of course on Tuesday as well.
Thank you very much.
Katie.
Thanks, Katie.
Superstorm may well be the omen bet because the rain is sweeping across the Flemington Racecourse here. I'm sure it won't be here for long. There are a number of seasons in one day in Melbourne. Don't go anywhere because the all-important final field for the Lexus Melbourne Cup up after this break, and also not far away, it will be the Barrier Draw and the Kennedy Cantala. Also, the Living End. And then on Tuesday, speaking of Australian music royalty, Delta Goodrem will be performing on Lexus Melbourne Cup Day. You'll see it all here on Network 10.
Bringing a bit of vintage romance to Derby Day in 2021, and wasn't it a vintage ride from Johnny Allen to take out this year's edition of the Great Race. He is one of the hardest workers in the game, so well deserved. They have certainly been celebrating in South Australia too at Penfolds HQ. It is the spiritual home at McGill Estate today, and Zoe Warrington joins us from Penfolds. You are the ambassador. Zoe, how's the party been over there in South Australia?
Hi, Katie. Well, it's been fabulous. We've enjoyed a wonderful four-course lunch paired with Penfolds wines. We've had about 100 guests up here, and as you can see, the celebrations are continuing behind me.
Well, it certainly was an amazing first edition of the Penfolds Victoria Derby. What was happening during the race? The atmosphere must have been amazing.
The atmosphere was fantastic, and of course it is our inaugural Penfolds Derby Day celebration, so we thought what a better place to celebrate this than at the spiritual home of Penfolds.
And everyone obviously frocked up and enjoying a day sort of at the races, recreating the experience.
That's correct. Yeah, so we've had fashions on the field, we've had sweeps as well, we've had quite a few winners as well for first, second and third horses, so it's been a lot of fun.
Have you backed one, Zoe?
Unfortunately, I didn't back a winner, but we'll see. I've still got the Melbourne Cup lunch to go, so we'll hope I back a winner then.
All right, well, there's still time, don't you worry. Now, if we are preparing for our day post races and we're looking at dinner, what should we be pairing our dinner with tonight?
Oh, sorry, I might just get you to repeat that question. I had a little bit of background from behind me.
That's all right. If we're planning our post-race celebrations, what should we be pairing our meals with this evening?
Well, I'm a bit of a white wine fan myself, so I'm going to say probably a Penfolds Chardonnay or a Penfolds Riesling.
All right, sounds fantastic. Maybe a bit of seafood with that. Thank you so much to Zoe and all at Penfolds. Well, we are not too far away from the next of our Group 1s. It is the last of the day, the Kennedy CANTALA. I've just bumped into Ben Hayes. He is absolutely bullish about Mr. Brightside having won 6 straight. And let's welcome in Michael Felgate from the yard now. And Michael, they have every reason to be very confident. 5 of those wins at the mile.
Absolutely, and why wouldn't you be? And what a moment it would be for Ben and JD Hayes and Will, who used to play with the Bulldogs, who was joining their team as well, because it was Derby Day in 1990 where their dad, David Hayes, burst onto the world map, where he won a world record 6 races on this very race day. So if they could win their first Group 1 in the Kennedy CANTALA as a training partnership, it would be a memorable moment. And David Gately joins me here to give Mr. Brightside a good chance with Michelle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the horse that just keeps winning. I mean, you oppose winning form, it's a quick way to go broke. He stays down in the weights, you know, and look, he's got a nice burst of speed. He can come off a slow speed or a fast speed. He's just got a few strings to his bow.
He does, but it is a big step up in grade, so it's going to be a test, but you can't beat winning form.
And to be able to keep the winning sequence going as he steps up in grade, it gets harder every time. He has drawn a very good gate though, but there's going to be good speed in this race, isn't there, Gator?
Guaranteed. So, you know, that'll be a proper test of endurance, and it'll, you know, if he's good enough, you know, he can be in the finish. I think he's in the conversation. And a terrific race, though, it always is. Zutori, he's won a Newmarket over 1,200 down the straight. He's trying to add a CANTALA. He's a $34 shot. Cascadian placed in this race the last 2 years, $9.50. Superstorm, that was a tip from Danny O'Brien, a $7 chance. Riadini down from Sydney, $11. And then I'll give Arameo, don't tell me, another Chris Waller winner, a really good chance as well. Shayo for Archie Alexander, chasing his first Group 1 win as well in the market. And there is Mr. Brightside, $4.80. So he is currently the favourite in the Kennedy CANTALA. He is that, and as you've touched on, he draws a perfect alley, so Craig Williams won't have to overthink it, which he doesn't really anyway, and he'll just get a lovely run in behind it, a strong speed as you referenced.
Absolutely. They are the silks that the jockeys will be wearing. I thought interesting in this race would be Shayo. I love how she finished in this race last year, and Michelle, another one of your Ballarat mafia up there, Archie Alexander. How good would it be if he could win a Group 1?
It'd be so good. I love this mare too. She's always promised to be a Group 1 mare, and I think she's got the race here that she could possibly prove that. I think the rain's not against her. That's something to take into account with these gallopers, because we are getting a drop of it, and it will start to affect the track a little bit.
Yep, the field is not too far away from the running of this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup, the final 24. And we will also have the barrier draw not too far away as well. But as you can see, the runners are now starting to make their way into the mounting yard for the running of the final Group 1, which is the Kennedy CANTALA. Let's kick it off with number 1, Zutori, who, as I said in the run-through before, is a remarkable horse, a Newmarket winner, and for the training partnership of Matty Ellerton and Simon Zara, this will be the last Melbourne Cup Carnival where they train in partnership. They're going their separate ways. Gator, after this, could Zutori do the rare feat of winning a CANTALA as well as a Newmarket?
Well, I think he's better than a 33-1 chance. He looked like a horse in need of 1,600 last time. He didn't quick, and he crossed the line with the horse who won earlier today. And he did win at 1,600 as a younger horse.
Number 2 is Cascadian. He has become one of the great handicap milers in Australia. A Doncaster winner, placed in this race the last 2 years for James Cummings and that man, James McDonald. What are your thoughts on Cascadian, Michelle?
I think he looks well. He's travelled down nicely from Sydney. He's the type of horse that I think he should have won a lot more than he has. He's just, his racing pattern doesn't help him out, but he certainly looks well, and I think he'll like the bit of rain that we've just had.
He ran a cracking race in this last year with 53.5. He flew home, he just missed. He'll be back there. He comes up in the weights this year, but he's flying. His run in the Epsom was terrific.
Number 3 is Superstorm, trained by Danny O'Brien. He's a very consistent galloper. He's in the Bob Peters colours, Damien Oliver on board. He's run second in an Australian Guinea, second in an All-Star, third in a Toorak. Can he get a big one today?
Well, I think he gets to a track that's going to suit him best. He ran enormous here in a Group 1 as a 3-year-old, an immature 3-year-old. He'll be back with Cascadian making their runs together down the outside. He comes through a fast Toorak handicap too.
Number 4 is Riadini. Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott are the trainers. Rachel King rides. He likes to race on the speed. Super in the George May. I was disappointed in the Epsom.
Yeah, look, he was beaten about 5 lengths, but he was up on the speed that day. It was a fast run Group 1 handicap, dominated by the swoopers. So I think it was forgivable. As you've touched, his previous form around Very Elegant, Think It Over is excellent.
Number 5 is Buffalo River. He loves this track. He probably would like a bit more rain than what we have had, trained by Mike Moroney. He's a horse that likes to run. What do you think about the mile?
Yeah, look, I think he'll run the mile. He'll set a strong speed. That's his best asset. He's just against sustained speed from the front. He gets down to 54 kilos, and as I said, there's already winning form out of the race he controlled last time.
Number 6 is Arameo. Glenn Boss in the saddle for Chris Waller. He's won 4 of these Kennedy Cantalas, and this horse comes through the Epsom where he ran a great race, Michelle.
He does, and he looks well. He's a funny looking little horse. He's got a real little round barrel on him, like he's actually got a fat belly. But he certainly looks well, and I think that's just the shape of him, and he's here to run a good race.
Well, he beat home most of these, didn't he, that he contested the Epsom. He beat all them home.
I was going to say, I know how Aramaro feels.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ice Bath, number 7, John McNeil for Brad Whittam. It'd be a big moment for Brad if he could win after winning the Invitation in Sydney last start.
Look, she didn't have much go right in the Epsom. She ran really well. It was a real mo-twirl of a run, and then went to the Invitation, swept home down the outside and won very, very well. She actually won going away. She's a key hope.
Is number 9, Karma Lass, an X-factor? Another one of the Jamie Richards Kiwi team. She was dominant at Caulfield last start.
Big finish, big win. Running down Buffalo River, who's not only here, but a subsequent winner of the Moongus Stakes.
Number 10 is Quantum Mechanic for Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. Craig Newitt. I spoke to Mick Price or Mick Kent Jr. during the week on RSN. He gave this a big push. Do you give Quantum Mechanic a chance?
Yeah, for sure. She's my second pick. I think she's the one that's massive overs here. She did much like in a key stage in that fast Toorak handicap. Picked up, hit the line sweetly. Beat home Ice Bath last prep, who's much shorter in the market.
Number 11 is Shalo. As we were talking before, Michelle, it would be a big moment for Archie Alexander. She ran so well, finishing 4th in the Empire Rose last year. Can she win a Group 1 today?
I think she's a really big chance. She deserves to win a Group 1. She's a beautiful mare. She's actually really pretty to look at. She's got a really nice head on her, and she looks fantastic here today. I think she's going to run a great race.
I think it's a smart play to have kept her fresh and not run that extra race. I think last time when she was second up, she just was a bit flat. But with that now gap between runs to 1600 to Flemington, perfect.
Number 12 is Just Folk, and this would be some fairy tale for Josh Julius and all the team at Bendigo. 2 starts ago, it was a ratings horse, won the Crystal Mile last week, and now steps up to Group 1 company.
Yeah, and gets the big weight relief, because of course that was weight for age, so dropped 7 kilos. Go back 2 runs and we're competitive with just a Canter, who won earlier today. Go back 2 runs and we're only 4 lengths off Mr. Brightside.
Number 13 is Romancer for Will Price and Graham Begg. Also comes through that Crystal Mile form last start. Is there a chance for Romancer today?
Look, I think a drier track will help. I just don't think he handles affected ground anymore. His run prior to that off a wide run behind Elephant was very good.
Number 14 is the favourite, Mr. Brightside. He's won 6 in a row. Michelle, he's been up for a while. How does he look?
For a while, to be honest. There's not a lot of him. It's the first time I've really seen him in the flesh, but he looks really healthy and well. He's just very fine, and yeah, I'm wondering whether he's still got another run in him. He's looking on borderline, but yeah, I can't fault him too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the reality is, Mick, he just keeps winning. I know there's a question mark, you know, stepping up in grade, but he stays down in the weights. It's a handicap, remember, which suits his that up-and-comer, doesn't it?
Number 15 is King Magnus, and at a price, this horse is airborne at the moment, always runs well. $26, not the worst each way.
No, not at all. He ran on really well last time behind Buffalo River, who's obviously in the mix here, and that form has been frank.
And that is the field for the Group 1 Kennedy Cantala. Jared Middleton from the tab. It's an open race. We need your help. Where's the money going?
Oh, Superstorm, that form has been franked big time. Mr. Brightside just getting out here late, having got to as short as $4.20 earlier today. Now it's $4.80. Superstorm there, you see $7.50. It's trimmed up even further than that, though, on the second line Ice Bath as well. Coming off that big win in Sydney last week. It's been 10 into $6.50 today. Sheo, $9.50 into 7 today. Of the rest, Cascadian's been spec. Quantum Mechanic, who Gators keen on at odds. A Drifter, Buffalo River, coming off a last start win at Caulfield, 15 out to 26.
Gee, there's been a couple of good moves here in the Kennedy Cantala. Michelle, who have you got on top?
Well, there's a lot of good-looking horses in this race, Michael, so it's hard to pick one, but I went with Arameo. I thought he looked really well. He's bringing the Sydney form down here, and I think he's going to run a great race.
Arameo, another one for Chris Waller, if Michelle is right. Gator, you went very close to we had Home Affairs second, so it was a great value selection in the Coolmore after tipping the winner Haitotsu in the Derby. Who are you with in the Cantala?
Yeah, I'm jumping on board Team Aramea. I thought it was terrific in the Epsom. It's often a good pointer for this. Shallow is a danger. I like her at Flemington, kept fresh. And Quantum Mechanic, silly price.
All right, that is the field. They are heading to the gates for the $2 million Kennedy Cantala, the fourth of our Group 1s here on Derby Day. Don't forget, not too far away, the final field for the Lexus Melbourne Cup. And then at 5:25, the all-important barrier draw. We'll be back with the Group 1 after this.
Move for me, I like the way you dance. You know this night will last forever. Got me in a trance. Let's move. Let's move.
Hope you're enjoying 10's coverage of Victoria Derby Day. That man is certainly enjoying it. James McDonald, he's had 3 wins on one of the great days of racing anywhere in the world, and this was simply stunning. Home Affairs winning the Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes. A stallion of the future. Coolmore winning its own race, and he will be standing at stud very soon. Chris Waller, 3 winners today. James McDonald, 3 winners, and he was absolutely pumped. He'll be very pumped to know that Very Elegant has accepted to run in the Melbourne Cup, and he is riding on Tuesday. We have the final field of 24 for this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup. The barrier draw will be conducted at 5:25. Let's quickly run through the final 24 before we go to the running of the Kennedy Cantala. We don't have that. We will bring it through after this race. All right, they're only a couple of minutes away. Have you got the hot horse here for us, Jared?
Certainly do. How good a Group 1 mile handicap. The money is all over the place. But Sheu, $9.50 this morning into $6.50 now with tab. But good money Superstorm, Ice Bath as well. And it's not as though they're forgetting the favourite here, Mr. Brightside.
Well, Sheu is the tab hot horse. James Winks is behind the barriers. James, who has caught your eye behind the barriers?
Yeah, look, Michael, I'm here with Dean Holland, the rider of Just Folks, and it's Josh Julius' first Group 1 runner. So, Dutchy, you've drawn a nice enough lead. What's the plans, mate?
Yeah, similar to last time. I've ridden him a couple of times before that, and I've drawn wide on him. Today we've drawn the same as last time. He just looks to get that lovely run just off the speed. There's good pace on, so I'll just let him be comfortable and hopefully get over the top of him.
Good luck, mate. Hopefully I'm talking to you after the race.
Hey, James, tell us what this 1,600 metre start is like for the jockeys.
Yeah, look, it comes up pretty quick the first corner. You've probably got a furlong run, and then from there you're turning, and it's a slow-moving circle, Flemington, so it's pretty important that you get a position pretty quick.
All right, that'll be very important for a horse like Sheo. And just reiterating, it is the hot horse for the Kennedy Cantala. They're making a good line. Let's take you to Matty Hill for his call of the final Group 1 on Derby Day.
Second to left, Buffalo River. A real speed element in the race goes in with Superstorm. Mr. Brightside for Craig Williams joins it. He has won it twice, Craig, in more recent times as well, in 2018 and 2019. Romancer goes up, Quantum Mechanic joining them. Cascadian, James McDonald on cloud 9 after that big win of Home Affairs in the previous. Quantum Mechanic takes a middle alley. Cascadian and Ice Bath are going to be the final 2. Cascadian goes forward. 6 horses have carried 57 or above since 1972. A task for Cascadian and Zutori here. An ice bath with Jai McNeil is going to be the last one. Cascadian stands patiently with Rio Dini and King Magnus drawn next door. So ice bath just holding up proceedings fractionally. They're just standing still, having a good look at the Maribyrnong River. And jockey McNeil's going to dismount and going to place her in riderless. Such a consistent mare, a real trier. Goes up to the outside, Ellie. Jai McNeil will clamber back aboard and the field is set to run. Stand by for the Cantala. 1600. Sets. Racing now. Mr. Brightside away pretty well. Just Folk out very well with Buffalo River, Arameo and Riadini. And they were followed by Karma Lass, who lobs in fifth underneath of Mr. Brightside as they settle. Then Romancer, Quantum Mechanic further back. Zutori's in the back half with King Magnus and then Superstorm Cascadian. Ice Bath and Shalo last. Buffalo River at the 1200 metres led them by a length and a quarter. Riadini and then 2 lengths away Just Folk, Arameo. 2.5 Mr. Brightside, Romancer, and then Karma Lass, Quantum Mechanic, Zutori, King Magnus. Well back in the field then towards the end, Cascadian with Superstorm travelling together. Ice Bath is second last, Shalo at the end of the field. It's been solid, 800 metres to run. Buffalo River by a length, Riadini, and they're 5 lengths in front of Just Folk, and then came Arameo. A length and a quarter, Romancer, fifth outside of Mr. Brightside from Zutori, Quantum Mechanic, Karma Lass, then King Magnus, Superstorm, Cascadian, Ice Bath and Shalo. On the point of the corner, 500 to go. It's Buffalo River by 2 lengths, Riadini. 4 lengths away, Mr. Brightside chasing with Just Folk and Arameo. Then Karma Lass, Quantum Mechanic, Romancer. Shalo still last. Buffalo River at the 300 metres and Riodini coming back to them. Mr. Brightside runs up behind them. Cascadian's going to follow it through. King Magnus down the outside. Shalo and Ice Bath run on, but Cascadian drove through at the 100. It's Cascadian just in front of Mr. Brightside. King Magnus, Superstorm late. Cascadian holding on. Superstorm dives. Photo. Superstorm Cascadian within between horses. Mr. Brightside, then Ice Bath. Next, Just Folk, King Magnus, Riadini. What a finish. Shalo behind them from Arameo. Quantum Mechanic, Buffalo River got tired. Karma Lass, Romancer and Zutori.
Oh, what a finish in the Group 1 Kennedy Cantala. The best jockey's going head for head. Has Damien Oliver weaved his magic again in the middle on Superstorm and got the bob. Mr. Brightside on the inside and Ice Bath over the top on the outside has absolutely flown. It is a 3-way photo. Superstorm, Damien Oliver for Danny O'Brien. The Wizard has done it again. Unbelievable. Another Group 1 victory for Damien Oliver. And that was a ride. Look at him weaving through Gator on the inside. Cascadian, he looked like he was home. Mr. Brightside kept fighting on. And then Cascadian fighting and wilting. Superstorm in the middle. Ice Bath. How do you beat D. Oliver?
Well, I mean, he almost got beaten. Now, you copped a little balk at about the 200 metres and it would have cost him the race. So it's hard to take anything away from him. Even though he's only won narrowly, he's been able to produce a barnstorming last 100 in a race. You just didn't know where to look at the 200. There were 17 different chances, but Superstorm just too strong. Simply that last 100. Gee, Mr. Brightside was brave. Ice Bath, big finish. Cascadian looked the winner. About 7 different horses looked the winner at the 200, but it was Superstorm off a balk, strongest late, gets the job done.
Michelle, the decision and the timing that Ollie can get every time in a big race, it's just uncanny how he can get the horse down right on the line.
Absolutely, and what a finish that was. It was set up, they ran along at a really solid tempo, so it had everything off the bit coming into the straight. It was hard to know which one to follow, but he was just so solid late, this horse, and Ollie, he just timed it to perfection.
He's had some big days, Damien Oliver. This is another one. He's with James Winks.
Thank you, Michael. We're here with the leading Group 1 jockey now, 125. Damien Oliver, how do we feel, mate?
Feeling pretty good, Winksy. Yeah, it was nice to get a narrow victory. There was horses everywhere, typical of a big mile handicap, and I was getting a good run through, and I just had to switch across one's heels up there mid-straight, and
you told me something? What did you tell me?
Didn't miss a beat.
Oh, didn't miss a beat.
But unfortunately, it didn't cost him any momentum, and you know, he stuck his head down the line.
It's good for Danny and Bob Peters. Obviously, he's sort of spread his horses around a little bit, and it's good for Danny to get a Group 1 winner for him.
Yeah, it's great for Danny. He always does well here at Flemington.
Mate, enjoy it, eh? Take it.
Thanks,
125.
You're guilty.
Unbelievable. Outstanding.
125 Group 1 wins. He's now just one away from a record that has stood for so long in Australian racing, 126. Danny O'Brien, congratulations. Did you think you'd got there on the line?
I actually did, and then when they slowed it down, I wasn't so sure.
What a freak D. Oliver is.
He is. No, he's 2 Group 1 wins today have both been as good a rides as you'll see, and you know, he's no spring chicken, and he's still riding as well as he's ever done.
And satisfying for you to get the win with Superstorm. He's a horse that has been so close in so many big races.
Yeah, he's raced at the top class his whole career, and you know, all spring as well. He won the Fee, and he's placed in the Underwood and the Toorak, so it's great to knock off a big Group 1 with him.
Not a bad way to start Melbourne Cup week, and we've got Miami Bound coming up in the Cup on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're all excited, obviously, to be involved. She seems to be really good at home, but her form's just been average, but we put some blinkers on this morning and galloped with those, so we can pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Barrier draw soon. What number do you want?
Oh, I don't mind. Middle to wouldn't really matter. She'll be back in the field.
Yep. Well done, Danny. Good luck on Tuesday.
Thanks, Mick.
Danny O'Brien, Melbourne Cup winning trainer, searching for another Melbourne Cup on Tuesday after notching a Group 1 victory in the Kennedy CANTALA with Superstorm. And the man of the moment, 2 of the best jockeys going head-to-head today on Derby Day. Anything James McDonald can do, Damien Oliver says, I'll match you. His second Group 1 today, 125 career Group 1s. Damien Oliver returns on Superstorm, the freak that he is. Not too far away from the final field, which will be announced for the Lexus Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. And then don't forget the barrier draw at 5:25 as well. All right, time to reveal the 24 horses that will be heading to the gates in Australia's great race, the Lexus Melbourne Cup. In saddlecloth order, number 1, the defending champion, Twilight Payment, Joseph O'Brien, looking for his 3rd Melbourne Cup win. Number 2 is Incentivise, the short-priced favourite, looking to go after a Caulfield Cup to complete the double in the Melbourne Cup. Number 3, Spanish Mission, had to pass a vet test today to be allowed to accept, trained by Andrew Baldy. Number 4, Very Elegant, Chris Waller. 5, Explosive Jack. 6, The Chosen One. 7, Delphi. 8, Ocean Billy. Number 9 in this year's Melbourne Cup, Celino. Number 10, last year's Derby winner, Johnny Get Angry for AFL Premiership winning coach Dennis Pagan. 11, Knight's Order. 12, Persan, who ran so well in last year's Cup. 13, Cariff. 14, Master of Wine. 15, Pondus, to be ridden by Rachel King. 16, Grand Promenade. 17, Miami Bound. 18, Port Guillaume. 19, She's Ideal. 20, Future Score. 21, Charlie Rose. 22, Floating Artist is in the field. 23, Great House. And Sir Lucan, number 24, rounds out the field of 24 for the Cup on Tuesday. The barrier draw is not to get noisy all around Australia right now, because we are about to reveal the barriers for the running of this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup, and this is what everyone is chasing, the most iconic trophy in Australian sport, the Loving Cup, and that is the 2021 Lexus Melbourne Cup. All right, the field has been settled, 24 runners. Let's get into the barrier draw reveal. This has just been conducted by Racing Australia, and we start with the defending champion, number 1, Twilight Payment. Joseph O'Brien and Jai McNeil has drawn barrier 2. Last year, when he won the Cup, he jumped from barrier 12. That's a good barrier for Twilight Payment, looking to go back-to-back. Now, this is the short price favourite, Incentivise. Drew the outside in the Caulfield Cup. What barrier has Peter Moody and Brett Preble got? Another wide draw, gate 16. I don't think that will concern them too much. It's a long run to the end of the street. Here's the reaction. Barrier 16. Aussie Kier, Ray Sokolsky, not too bad. I don't think the boys mind that too much. He's going to roll forward. There is the incentivised team at the Adelphi. They're having a lot of fun. It's going to be a late night there. Number 3, Spanish Mission. Craig Williams looking for another Melbourne Cup barrier 14 for the import. Andrew Balding looking for a first at Melbourne Cup. All right, let's get to Very Elegant now. Another runner for Chris Waller, James McDonald. She's drawn 19. That will be awkward for Very Elegant. James McDonald in great form, looking for his first Melbourne Cup. Explosive Jack, 3 Derby wins in his 3-year-old career. The perfect gate for Johnny Allen, who is looking to add the Melbourne Cup to the Cox Plate and today's Victoria Derby. The chosen one ran 4th in the Melbourne Cup last year, and he has drawn beautifully. Gate 5 in this year's Melbourne Cup. Next is number 7, Delphi. For Anthony and Sam Freeman, also drawn beautifully with Damien Oliver looking for a record-equalling 4th Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Number 8, Ocean Billy, one of the outsiders in the field. Damien Thornton, barrier 13 for Ocean Billy. Number 9 in this year's Melbourne Cup, another Chris Waller runner, Selena. Ron Stewart, first ride in the Melbourne Cup. He has drawn the extreme outside. Barrier 24, last won the Melbourne Cup in 1973, Gala Supreme. And this was last year's fairy tale story. Johnny Get Angry, he won the Derby. Not a fairy tale barrier, though. Barrier 22 for Dennis Pagan and Lachlan King. Number 11, Knight's Order, Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott, Dan Stackhouse to take the ride. Barrier 9, a good gate for Knight's Order in this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup. Number 12 is Persan. Finished 5th in the race last year. Luke Curry rides barrier 11. They'll be happy with a mid-draw gate there for Persan. Number 13, Cariff, for Peter and Paul Snowden. Blake McDougall, his first ride in the Melbourne Cup. A good gate too. Barrier 8, I should say. Now to number 14, Master of Wine. Fred Kersley. What barrier has it drawn? Barrier 6, a good gate for Master of Wine. Number 15 in this year's Melbourne Cup is Pondus. Rachel King, she has her first ride in the Cup and has drawn, ironically, gate 1, the same barrier that Michelle Payne and Prince of Penzance drew when she became the only woman to win the Melbourne Cup. Grand Promenade, Kieran Mark, Kieran McAvoy looking for a 4th Melbourne Cup, barrier 21. He's going to do it tough from out wide. Number 17, Miami Bound. Danny O'Brien, he won the Cup 2 years ago with Vow and Declare. Another wide gate for Patrick Maloney, gate 17. Number 18 in this year's Melbourne Cup, Port Guillaume, to be ridden by Harry Coffey. It is a fairy tale story, but Harry's going to have to be at his best from gate 23 for Port Guillaume on Tuesday. Number 19, She's Ideal, Björn Baker, and Craig Newitt has drawn wide as well. Gate number 20. Number 20 in this year's Melbourne Cup, Future Score, Matt Kamani, Dean Yendall. What gate? Gate 15. Number 21 for the Cup on Tuesday is Charlie Rose. Another great story. Simon Wild, his first runner in a Melbourne Cup, trains down at Warrnambool. They will be wrapped with gate 12 for Charlie Rose, who draws in the middle. Floating Artist, this could be one of the sneaky chances for Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace, has got into the field. Teo Nugent, such a big moment. His first ride in the Cup has drawn beautifully. Great House, who won today to secure his spot in the Melbourne Cup. A perfect draw for Mickey D, gate number 7. And the last of 24 is Sir Lucan, another runner for Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott. Glenn Boss, who won 3 Melbourne Cups and Mackay Diva, has drawn gate 18. So that is it. The final field, the 24 runners for this year's Lexus Melbourne Cup. Let's quickly recap those barriers. And Twilight Payment has drawn very well in gate number 2. Incentivised, the short price favourite. He's drawn out in 16. Spanish Mission, gate 14. Very Elegant has drawn wide as well. Gate 19. Explosive Jack 4. The Chosen One 5. Delphi 3. Ocean Billy 13. Twilight Payment has drawn, I missed that one there. Selena has drawn 24. Johnny Get Angry 12. Knight's Order 9. Persan has drawn 11. Cariff 8. Master of Wine 6. Pondus 1. Grand Promenade in gate 21. Miami Bound 17. Port Guillaume 23. She's Ideal 20. Future Score 15. Charlie Rose 12. Floating Artist has drawn gate 10. Great House has drawn 7. And Sir Lucan 18. Michelle Payne and David Gately. Firstly, Michelle, can you believe that Rachel King has drawn gate 1, the same gate you drew when you won on Prince of Penzance?
Amazing. And we saw Jamie Carr draw gate 1 too when she was third on the horse from
Prince of Arran.
Prince of Arran. So it's certainly been a good barrier for us girls, and it's going to be great on Tuesday.
Initial reaction, Incentivise, the shortest price favourite we've had in a cup since Farlap Gate 16, Gator.
I think it's the least of their concerns. I think you summed it up really well. They'll just roll forward. I think a lot of bother him. There's a couple of natural go-forward horses at first look to that final field, so he should get a nice, cosy run. They'll all be keeping an eye on him, though.
Twilight Payment, the defending champion, he drew middle of the field last year. He's drawn gate 2. He led throughout last year. What's it like when you are drawn down on the inside like you were on a horse that wants to go forward in a Melbourne Cup, Michelle?
There's so many variables, so if he stepped slowly and wasn't able to get into stride and the field comes across, sometimes that can be tricky. He's a horse that led when he won, so it's really important to get away from those barriers. If you draw out a little bit, you've got a little bit of time to muster speed and come across, so sometimes it can be just luck of the draw in running when the barriers open, how your horse begins and everything, so it really can play so differently out there.
You've been a big Incentivise fan, David Gately. $2.20. Do you think that price will remain, or will he ease after drawing 16?
Oh, look, it's such a big pool of money, isn't it, in our great race. So I think there'll be enough value there for punters to play. I think he deserves to be favourite. He deserves to be short. So he just keeps winning, and he keeps winning by margins. So, he's got to creep up in the weights, which, is a new challenge. I think he's up to it.
Well, the final pieces of the puzzle. Remarkably, there are 8 jockeys having their first ride in the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Jai McNeil did it last year, winning with his first ride. And this is what they are all chasing, the Loving Cup, the Lexus Melbourne Cup. That's on Tuesday. We haven't finished on Derby Day yet. Gator's still got to find us the winner of the last. That's up next.
Racing in the Melbourne Cup.
Australia's greatest racing event is here.
Give them a cheer, Australia. They're on top of the world.
Lexus Melbourne Cup Day. Tuesday, live on 10 and 10 Play on demand.
Don't want to leave anymore.
Another Chris Waller runner here could be dominating. September Run. This day last year, she won the Coolmore.
She did. She's back with the black shorts on. I think this is her track. Terrific in a jump out the other day. I'm forgiving her misses at Caulfield and the Valley.
Michelle, she's been a little disappointing in her last couple of runs, but back here at Flemington, are you liking what you see?
I am. I think she looks fantastic. I think you've been a little bit hard on her. She was a bit unlucky in some of those runs, but I think the straight is the key to her, and she's stepping out really well here in the yard, really sprightly in her action, and she looks fantastic.
She's got to carry 59 kilos. Let's go down to number 5, Minhaj. John O'Shea trains. That man, James McDonald, rides. Recent purchase, Rosemont started, and she won brilliantly first up in Sydney.
I loved her change up speed. First run for the Stoby, you referenced that. She ran a really big last 600. Chase September Run here as a 3-year-old and has a nice little relative weight swing.
Number 9 now, let's have a look at that one, and that is Ballistic Lover and Speed to Burn. Joe Pride, the jockey, Blake McDougall. Barrier 9, do you expect Ballistic Lover to be either leading or right there?
Oh yeah, that's her go. She's very, very fast. I mean, she looked terrific in her trial, but that's what fast horses do. Look, she's going to give you a great sight.
Number 11, Rainbill, has been a really consistent mare. Linda Meach is on board. Michelle, are you having a look at Rainbill?
She looks absolutely beautiful, Michael. I actually went to buy this horse at the sale. She was sold for $10,000 and the vet said don't touch her, and she's just done everything but win. She's so tough. She races on speed, but she just looks absolutely fantastic here in the yard.
Oh, I hate to remind you, Michelle, but she's now won prize money, which is almost in excess of $300,000. So Rainbill, good luck to Rainbill here. And have a look at number 14. If we get a shot, Clayton Douglas, and the young lady who is strapping, bless her today, is Jamie Carr. Jamie Carr, Australia's leading female jockey. Unfortunately, she's on the sidelines at the moment for a COVID breach earlier in the year. She misses the entire Spring Carnival, but it's good to see her back at the track, Gator, and also strapping for Clayton Douglas, her partner. Michelle, you can see Jamie there. She's happy to be back. How does Bless Her look?
She looks great. I think this is a really good race for her. She's up in class, but she's stepping out really well in the yard. She's really strong. She's got good muscle definition, and she's looking really well.
Yeah, look, she's a really good wet tracker, but handles the dry tracks as well. She chased hard Maliva last time, a key rival here, drawn probably to sit off them and swoop.
All right, good luck to Bless Her, Jamie Carr and Clayton Douglas. Michelle, you've had a look at them all in the yard. Who are you with in the last?
11. I went with Rainbill. I think she looks absolutely outstanding. I was keen to see September Run, and she looks really well as well, but she's got to carry 59 kilos, which worries me, but I just couldn't go past Rainbill. She's just stepping out so well. She's big, she's strong, and she looks fantastic.
Gee, she is strong, isn't she, with Linda Meach on board. The pick of the yard from Michelle Payne, Rainbill in the last. Gerald Middleton from the tab. Who are the punters focusing on in the last?
Two runners in particular here, Michael, and September Run best back by a mile. Also down the market, Dirty Thoughts would be a horror result here for the tab, but it's been a real battle at the top there between Menage and September Run. Certainly tab's traders keeping Menage very safe. I saw a bet of 6,000 at $5 just before. James McDonald looking for his fourth winner of the day. The stable, very bullish about Ballistic Lover, Joe Pride in Sydney, and it's been $9.50 into $6.50 throughout the week. Money for Marbusha, I saw a bet of 2,000 at $10 just a moment ago, and as I mentioned, Dirty Thoughts would be a horror result for the tab here in the last. It's best back in place betting.
All right, it's been in good form recent starts, Dirty Thoughts. Gator, you've been in very good form yourself today. Who were we with in the last?
Yeah, look, I'm with September Run on top. I think getting back to Flemington might be the key. She's got to give him weight, sure, but she's got a bit of class as well. Never Talk, drawn out to sit off him and swoops. Terrific value danger, I think. And Rainbill, I think she'll give a great sight on speed nearer the outside rail, perhaps.
All right, they are Gator selections in the lucky last on Derby Day. September Run. What a finish it was in the Kennedy Cantala, and it was the pink colours of Bob Peters and Damien Oliver, that distinctive style bursting through the middle to get the win right on the line with Superstorm. What a day it's been for Damien Oliver. 2 Group 1 victories today, 125. Look at the way he shifted around the heels of the horse in front, and Superstorm finished too strong to get there in the closest of finishes, defeating Mr. Brightside and Cascadian, and giving that man, Danny O'Brien, another Group 1 victory at Flemington. Damien Oliver, it could well be another great day on Tuesday for the man who already has 3 Melbourne Cups on his mantelpiece. We're not done though. We need the winner of the last, the Furphy Sprint down the famous Flemington Straight. David Gately is very keen on September Run in the last. Jared, who's the hot horse?
Pros v Joes here, but you're a pro with the Joes because Menage is the hot horse, even though September Run is the money horse here. So certainly the bets coming in for Menage, the traders have respected. It's the firmer, 5 into $4.40.
Well, I think she's been right on the heels of September Run, wasn't she, last spring? So she's probably the one who's come back in great shape. Brilliant return win in Sydney, as we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. After the last race, Jared, we might try and get an update on the Melbourne Cup market after that barrier draw as well. Of course, Incentivised was the $2.30 favourite. If you've just joined us, he has drawn gate 16 in the Cup on Tuesday. Not too far from making a line in this final race today. David Gately is with September Run. If you are chasing, gamble responsibly, but always follow Minhaj as well. It's been a wonderful day, Gator, to think that we've had Damien Oliver and also James McDonald going head to head, and Chris Waller with 3 wins, James Cummings with 2 wins. The best and the cream has risen to the top.
Funny how that works, isn't it? I did have a bit of a chuckle, though, when you said J-Mac might be the best of all time, and Ollie's like, just hold my beer. I'll just come out on Superstorm and just nail him.
Maybe just went a little early. And Hitotsu, the win in the Derby, just something to behold. You were very keen on him, and it once again reiterated the unbelievable powers that Kirima and Dave Eustace have for training stayers.
Yeah, I think any horse, you know, any equine athlete, they're obviously elite at it, and that horse, lightly framed, clean-winded. I'm excited to see what his future holds.
Yeah, we all are indeed. If you've had a bet in the Furphy Sprint, good luck. They are making a good line for the last of 9 on Derby Day. Let's take you to Matt Hill, who has called magnificently once again.
It was jumping on J-Mac to finish the day on a high. As Adelong comes up for Glenn Boss, Emanate Fred Kersley with a white distinguishing cap. Maleva, who's very speedy, draw on the extreme outside here. As Emanate comes along, and Maleva will complete it. The Furphy Sprint. And here is Maleva. Takes the outside for jockey Ben Allen, and they're locked away. Set to gallop. And away they go. Marbusha away pretty well, with also Juan Diva in the centre of the track, showing speed as Swats that as expected, with also Ballistic Lover in the black jacket, Adelong in the middle, and also Maleva. Swats that's about 5th in that group. Then Rainbill, September Run, Tailleur. Next in the field, Minhaj and also Marbusha. Rainbill's getting back to about 4th last now. Bless Her second last. Emanate is at the end of the field. Never Talks in the back half in the orange jacket. Adelong the leader at the 600 from Ballistic Lover. Swats that Juan Diva. Then Maleva. Behind those is Dirty Thought, September Run. And then came Minhaj, who's stalking them over on the far side with Never Talk. And then came Rainbill as they reach the 350. Ballistic Lover lets down just in front with Swats that. And right up along the inside, Minhaj. Then Juan Diva, Maleva and September Run. Minhaj drove through at the 100 from Ballistic Lover. Swats that Maleva. Minhaj in front for J-Mac, looking to bring the punters home, and he will. Minhaj won it from Ballistic Lover. Maleva 3rd, then Juan Diva, and next Swats that from September Run, Tailleur and Marbusha. Never Talk and Dirty Thoughts, and well back Rainbill, Bless Her, Emanate, and Adelong was last to complete.
Oh, what a day for James McDonald. He wins his 4th on Derby Day. Minhaj, well done to the Rosemont team who bought this mare, and she is a very, very valuable broodmare heading forwards, and it has paid $3.60. John O'Shea, welcome back to Melbourne Cup Week, and a brilliant run. Ballistic Lover running second. Believer has also run well. $4.20 for third. 5, 9, 10. That man again, Gator.
That's the man, and he's the story of the day, isn't he? J-Mac in a terrific ride, just snuck up through inside them. The track's played beautifully. Today he wasn't nervous about trying to wait, get to the outside, because you can win from anywhere. And this mare just quickens. She's got great change-up speed. She's proven up the straight. And just really, once he pointed her at that line, she savaged it. Ballistic Lover was in for the fight for a while, just couldn't quite match her late. And Maleva's come back in terrific shape this prep. Bit underrated again by the market. She was terrific again.
Yeah, she certainly was. So the hot horse salutes in the last race from the tab in the Furphy Sprint. And what a way to start Melbourne Cup Week for James McDonald. On Tuesday he rides very elegant, and we'll hear from him now with James Winks. And Winksy, you might have to give half your pay to James McDonald. He's been co-hosting with you out there. What a day.
It has been a great day for James McDonald, but he's just told me that it was because he's been watching me ride when I rode.
Yeah.
So he's learned a lot.
Yeah, all those lessons you gave me back in a couple of years ago.
4 winners on Derby Day. Must be right up there, mate.
Yeah, it's been a great day. I had this beautiful book of rides. The horses have performed. They've come here in really good order, so thrilled to be riding here, and track's presented beautifully, and obviously to kick home a few winners is bloody good.
And John O'Shea, mate, he's probably the one that really got you going in Australia too, so to ride a winner for him on Derby Day.
Yeah, he was absolutely, he's very proud to be riding for him, obviously, and he was blowing up about the barrier to start off with, but
John wouldn't blow up, mate, come on.
It's worked out perfect, but I'd just like to give a shout out to all the people at Rosemont. Started there, obviously having a big do out there, and give them something Yahoo about for tonight, and Nige and Mytho, thanks for the ride.
Mate, very elegant, 19.
Ooh.
Do we worry about that Tuesday?
Did you really have to tell me that?
No,
right
I
now?
just thought I'd just throw it in. You've got to come and leave you on the high for too long, mate.
Yeah, exactly. No, she'll be fine. Obviously, they've been to and fro with the starter. Obviously, they must be very happy with her, and I'm sure she'll run well because she always runs honest.
All right, mate, enjoy it. Soak it up. Derby Day 4 winners. Congratulations,
Thanks,
mate. Cheers, man.
It's a remarkable achievement, and he equals the achievement of the most winners on Derby Day. Michael Clark, who rode 4 winners for the powerhouse David Hayes stable in 1990 when David Hayes won 6. And now James McDonald equals Michael Clark for the most number of wins on Derby Day with 4. What an achievement. As he said, he's on Very Elegant. And just on Rosemont Stud, those famous colours, Victorian breeding going so strongly at the moment with Nigel Austin and also Anthony Mithen. They stand Seamus Award, the sire of Incentivise. They also stand Star Spangled Banner, the sire of the Cox Plate winner sort of state. So they could clean sweep the majors with their stallions as well as what they're doing on the track.
There you go. It's fantastic, isn't it, for our breeding and racing industry, and what a fantastic day's racing it's been. And J-Mac's so humble in victory, and he's great for the sport. Love him.
Yep. All right, that is James McDonald, the superstar. 4 winners on Derby Day, and what a remarkable day it has been. I hope you've enjoyed all the coverage. It is known as the Racing Purist Day, and there's no doubt the best in Australian racing have stood up today. And it's only the beginning, Gator, because on Tuesday we are back here for the People's Race, the race that stops a nation, and this year will help restart it, the running of the 161st Lexus Melbourne Cup. The barrier draw has just been drawn. We're going to find out the latest Melbourne Cup market in a moment, but today it was all about the 2 big guns, James McDonald and Damien Oliver, who went head-to-head with a day to remember. Ollie, 2 Group 1 victories, winning the Group 1 Empire Rose on Colette and also Superstorm in the Cantala. And here is Colette, Gator, in the Godolphin blue colours. It was another duck and dive and weaving Ollie special.
Yeah, that's right. He finds the gaps, doesn't he? I mean, you can't fluke it for 2 decades and beyond, and that's what's happened here. I thought she was terrific. She's just become a high-class mare, and back to her own sex today, out to the 1600. She was simply too strong at the end of the race.
We may see her with some luck back up on Saturday in the McKinnon, the Paramount Plus McKinnon. And just when we thought you couldn't have got a better ride than that, have a look at what he does here in the pink and white colours on Superstorm.
Yeah, well, Superstorm copped a bit of a balk at the final stage, so I know the margin was narrow, but it's difficult to take anything away from him. I mean, that's the nature of big handicap racing. It's designed so they all cross the line together. Nearly worked. Credit to the handicappers in that race. A terrific race, as always, that the Cantala is.
He's just 1 Group 1 away from equalling the record of George Moore for the most Group 1 wins by any jockey in the history of Australian racing. He rides Delphi in the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Could he bring it up in our greatest race?